Yeah, if you don't pay your submarine bill, they can just drive it right back to the
This is the Imperial Scrolls of Honor podcast. I'm Josh Folan.
And I'm Jay Baxtron.
And I am Jeff Burns.
And we are going to be bullshitting about the formative years of console gaming as we revisit the periodicals that covered it again. We continue on our warpath through an RPG side quest here, where we incrementally fiddle with an old school RPG, start to finish, with the assistance of the video game literature of antiquity. We are currently targeting Chaos's head going onto a pike in Square's 1990 release of Final Fantasy on the Nintendo Entertainment System. The current accompanying game mags for us on this adventure are the official pack-in instruction manual for the game, an 80-page tome titled The Explorer's Handbook, and the writings contained in the official Nintendo Power Strategy Guide for the game, an 81-page Bible by which Jab and I worshipped at the time of its release. Link to both of those will be in the show notes for the duration of the quest. Emulation disclosure, so you know the tools with which we are undertaking our quest to defeat Chaos. Jay, how are you playing?
I'm playing on my PC using NES Topia with the standard NES controller with the USB plugin.
Jab.
Also playing NES Topia using my keyboard.
Still rolling on OG hardware over here. My good old NES Advantage piped in through Sir Uncle Ted's NES Satellite. Please rate and review the pod if you enjoy our shit. It makes us feel really good about talking for 3 hours into these microphones. Last episode, we weathered the Castle of Ordeal and were bestowed a great reward from the Dragon King Bahamut in exchange for that trial, the class change. First thing I did was go see the Shriners over Crescent Lake, like they fucking told me to do, but they offered no direction and said nothing new. So I headed to Onrak. How did you guys first dip your toe back into this after the class change?
I actually looked at this thinking, okay, I got the class change, like, what can I do now? Like, can I use level 7 magic yet? That was kind of my thing. With, like, with 3 of my dudes being
I should
wizards.
get everything, right?
Yeah, I'm like, let me go grab it. And so, Gaia it was for me.
Okay. Jab, what do you do? Coming out of the class change?
What do I do?
I guess your main target in life right now is to not do what you usually do.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
So I didn't play this game since the last time I played it until literally last night and this morning.
Yeah, you were fucking texting me at like what would be
3 in the morning,
2:30 a.m.
I was just pouring fucking vodka. Well, it's vodka water and lime. It was way too late into the night. But why not? I'm caught up on school and everything. I've been really busy with school. It's actually starting to get kind of hard. So what I did, I'll just explain everything. I guess it's a pretty short story. But I'm not trying to play this game like I normally do or have. So instead of, I still haven't done Gurgu Volcano. Instead of doing all that, I went, I'll spare the details and everything, but I went and acquired the Adamant and forged Excalibur.
Okay. What?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
It means that when I go into Gurgu Volcano, Carrie is going to shit her pants.
Sounds like
I'm going to be class changed and have Excalibur, and my armor is end game level for both characters. Hell, actually, I think I'm rocking the defense sword for my red wizard. So everybody's pretty well fucked at this point.
I'm rolling with that. One of the bros as well.
Yeah, and I got a good leveling system going too, which I'll save for Tales of the Grind, of course. But yeah, I mean it's
Excalibur. That's some Knights of the Round stuff, man.
Yeah, don't look into the fucking book. I've already told you too much, Jay.
Wow. Interesting.
Okay. Well, for the purposes of having a podcast, we're not going to talk about Gaia this time around. We're going to talk about Onrak because it's the one most pertinent to our ultimate goal with this particular episode.
What? So, they weren't connected for you? You were able to go
you
get to the sea shrine without getting there?
You have to bop into Gaia, yes, but it is not nearly the focal point that Onrak is. Yeah.
Interesting. I went, because when I went there...
I mean, I went to Gaia, I think I went to Gaia for the last episode and did. I mean, I did a bunch of commerce there, but again, just for the purposes of the pod here, we're gonna save Gaia for the next episode.
Gotcha. It's fascinating to me because I got there, got what I needed, but like the pirate said he sold a ferry. That's why I was like, all right, I gotta go to the other place now.
Yeah, no, you need to dick around there, no question. Okay. There are serious plot points to be had there, no question. And we'll talk about being there, but I mean, as far as like the way we do the townsfolk chatter and talk about all the shops and shit.
All right.
Unrack this time, so we have maybe an actual episode next time, and that's something to discuss later too. But being on the central eastern coast of the northwestmost continent, Onrak doesn't have any nearby airship landing pads, so you have to set down in a valley to the north and trek through a forest to get there, and it's nice inside. There's a lot of rivers, a bit reminiscent of Crescent Lake to me, as far as the kind of the vibe of it. And there is a really nicely curated 8-tomb cemetery. Tomb. The inn is particularly impressive. A sprawling chateau, completely surrounded by a moat and a large courtyard out front with paved fountain area. And easily, I would say this is the most diverse townsfolk sprite makeup of any town to date. Like there's every type of walk of life from the game is in here to some degree or another, and that is really cool. There is a path leading off to the southeast corner of town with a submarine boat launch, and municipal submarine boat launching facilities are a pretty dope civil engineering project to have executed successfully here, given the technological context that this game is existing in. So that's a nice little thing they got going here. For townsfolk chatter, the girl guarding the lone submarine at the launch says, I made a submarine to save mermaids, or to save the mermaids, but to go deep enough it will require oxyale. So this woman is a submarine maker, and that is a cool as fuck job to have.
Submarine maker, not a submarine engineer, not a submarine designer, a submarine maker.
Yeah. So that's pretty fucking cool. And this got me wondering if oxyale was anything more than a word in Final Fantasy. And so I Googled around. Unfortunately, it is not. It is just I thought it might have some roots in reality.
Didn't think to Google that myself.
Yeah. This is the only, you can't. It's funny when you try to Google something, like for a game like this that is this popular, and the thing doesn't exist in any other way. It's just fucking just pages and pages and pages and pages of video game websites. It's hilarious. Like you Google like any word, just the word, and like you get some variance in the returns, But for a game like this, that's so popular, like, and they made it up for this game, like it's just never been used in any other context whatsoever. So it's pretty funny. There is a dude milling around by her. He says, "My name is Cope. I saw it north near the waterfall. Believe me, I think it was a robot." And then a sage just past him also posts up, and he says, until 200 years ago, the power of water brought us good fortune. And then we get a dragon chatter remix here. A dragon is fraternizing with a pirate by the southern exit, and he says, he said to me when I was doing the notes here, well, I see you have been honored. Mm-hmm. So he's acknowledging the class change, which is fucking awesome. Yeah. And it's extra awesome because I remember first bumping into him pre-class change, and he said something different about going to meet Bahamut. Like kind of some like very ambiguous thing about meeting Bahamut. So it's really fucking cool that there's a progress and an acknowledgement of your progress,
like a back and forth almost.
Right, exactly. Yeah, really fucking cool. So that made me happy to discover that. Mm-hmm. The pirate here predictably says, "Avast, ye landlubbers, stay out of my way." So just says some hostile shit. All the pirates in this game just say hostile shit.
Like pirates just super generally a hostile profession,
right? Yeah, like I think that's probably a gross generalization and stereotyping of them. There's probably some very chill ones, So,
you ahoy, mateys! What be that? Man aboard your vessel there.
Australian pirate, is that what he is?
Let's have a beer together, yeah? Cheers, mate.
That would be a pint of lager. It wouldn't be a beer. Or not even lager. It'd be a pint of maybe ale or mead. A pint of mead.
A pint of mead, yeah?
That's a northern thing. Australians
but what do you call it?
We're in the fucking north, Jab! He's in the northern continent.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
An academic type is pondering the universe in the inn courtyard. He says, "My brother Dr. Yoon is a conceited prick, but he has studied Leafinish, the language of the Sky Warriors. If he had the slab, he could teach it." So I guess we got to go back to Melmond once we score that. And he also flips the script after a related event, much like the dragon, so that's kind of cool. He said once you have the slab from the shrine, he says, "Soar to my brother Yoon with the slab." So he's fucking super gung-ho now once you score that. Then there's one of those punk rock mohawk dudes that says, Underhill, the caravan master, has something very strange, ... And then a witch by him says, or rather, I would say she exclaims, "You have legs!" So this chick is on some tweaker shit. like the other witch in the cave, Matoya early on. And
Matoya has no legs, right?
No,
no, she's blind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she didn't have legs, though, too. There's something there.
Well, she's sitting. I think that this sprite is sitting. So maybe she doesn't have legs. Maybe that's just an inference you could have. But I believe all the witch sprite is seated on the ground. Right. And yeah, I mean, you would have to. I don't know. It's either that there was some context for somebody not having legs at some point, or she's just purely on some tweaker shit. Right. Exactly. Right.
So, I guess I'm believing in the former.
And let me forgive my gullibility here, perhaps. But are you genuinely asking that question, or are you?
I am. Yeah. I actually don't. What I'm saying is, I feel like somebody not having legs is a thing somewhere. I was also up until 4 a.m. drinking vodka. So.
Well, yeah, I think maybe you just don't have sin. I'm shocked to hear you not connect these dots. But so you have this witch here, and she is oddly contrasted by a different kind of tweaker, a dancer in this case, and she says, "My legs are beautiful. It's so nice to have legs." So this one's probably on Molly. The witch is on meth, is my guess. But either way, this contrast definitely is a narrative thing they're trying to do here. They're trying to establish some story world here. And if you don't know it, or if you're not connecting it, I don't want to really talk about it now, and I'll save it until later when the dots would really get connected, I think. So
yeah, okay. We'll see if I can, over time, put it together.
Okay. Another Mohawk cat hanging out in the cemetery. Eek talks some shit about Cope, rather. He says, "Cope says," and it's in quotations, which is a great job by the developers to convey how belittling this dude is being without, with the limited NES chat bubble text syntax here. But he says, "Cope says he saw a shining object fall." So he's just like, Cope is a fucking asshole.
Cope says a lot of things.
Yeah, listen to this fucking dickhead over there. This motherfucker's always saying some stupid shit.
Robot in the north today. Yeah, got it. Cool.
Right. Check. Dude, check.
And the week before that, there was a Kraken in the sea.
Oh my gosh.
Very, very fun little moment there. I genuinely laughed out loud. That doesn't happen a ton from reading Final Fantasy's fucking chat bubbles. A sage dude near the entrance sets the stage for the story of this chapter. He says, "Until 200 years ago, the mermaids lived in the shrine. Then, in fire and smoke, it sank. The mermaids. ... A woman south of him furthers that. She says, "Fables say that when the shrine sank, many treasures were lost. Also, they tell of a cryptic stone plate." So, I don't know. That is, oh God, it's just fucking this no faith.
Yeah, they gotta tell you somehow, and they kind of gotta softball it in, I guess.
Right? Yeah, they're like, you could, just. Many treasures were lost. Like, okay, we're looking for a treasure. We're gonna, and it's almost impossible to not find. It's not like you have to go somewhere off the beaten path in order to find this fucking thing. And it just, I don't know. It's just, oh God, it's for kids, I guess. Whatever.
Exactly it.
A woman right when you walk in gives you your most helpful directional nugget, I would say. She says, "My father runs the caravan. He is having a closeout sale near the oasis in the western desert." So he's got an Ames back to school sale over in the caravan.
Oh no, I'm picturing much more like Jamie's flea market.
Closeout sale, yeah, trying to liquidate all inventory. We don't want to come back here next weekend.
Place kind of sucks.
So that's kind of it for the what can be had from the townsfolk. There is a little bit of capitalism indulgence to be had here. The chateau costs a bloated 300 gold a night, and they have a clinic that cranks out revivals at 750 per, and an item shop with all the potions, cabins, and houses. The item shop does not have heals in the first slot, though. So unless you want to get 99 cabins with your automated heal buying apparatus, the item shop is not worth going to, really.
No joke. I stayed at that inn several times. I did a little bit of leveling there, and no joke, when I paid the 300 gold, I was like, these are the same assholes that I'm playing with you guys. These are the same assholes that went all the way back to Brecken to save like 3 gold, and then they finished Dragon Warrior with like 64,000 gold. So like, I knew you guys were going to complain about this. And you even mentioned there's a chateau with a huge, this is like the palace in St. Petersburg with all these fountains and bushes around and whatnut. And you're complaining
a lot
about
of upkeep, sure, a lot of upkeep, a lot of maintenance costs. I get it. I'm just, it's just not important to me as an overnight.
Your party especially needs gold the least.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure I stayed here too. Gold, I would say you're contrasting this against Dragon Warrior, and I think the currency in Dragon Warrior has infinitely more value than the currency here. So that's one rebuttal I would have. And two, I don't really think I should be berated for my cost consciousness. I'm saving for retirement here.
That's true.
Look, man, you're flying that airship all around the fucking world. There's obviously already been a lot of climate change, and you are not helping.
Jab, do you know how expensive it is to go to every Bills game every fall? Do you know how expensive that is? Said times 4. Motherfuckers got to go for them.
I still owe you for that, by the way.
You do still. You're unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I got the money too. I just fucking won't do it.
There are no weapon or armor banana stands, but there is Hocus Pocus action at 45k a pop. And the white has 2 spells. First time we're seeing them broken up for a single level at one particular shop. So that's an interesting change in fucking commerce flowchart for the game. And they have a rub, and this is described on the chart as defends against magic, a rather useless defining. And I'm guessing it probably prevents rub, if it works at all.
Who knows?
And then there's heal 3, and this heals all party members a tier higher than the last one. And then the black shop has saber, or I'm assuming that's what that should be inferred as.
Sabre.
Yeah, hummus. This is hummus. I tweeted. So, sidebar. LA is on some sort of fucking hummus or Sabra hummus shortage. I can't get the supremely spicy Sabra hummus anywhere. It's nowhere to be found. And like in general, Sabra hummus, you just go to the grocery store and that part of where that stuff used to be stocked is just this barren hole now. And I don't know what that's about. I don't know how do you get a hummus shortage? I don't know what's going on. Where are the chickpeas coming from? Who knows? But I can't get the fucking hummus I want. And hummus is a big part of my dietary shit. So I tweeted them fucking like last week and just like, hey, fucking, does anyone, not even them, I just tagged them in it. I was just like, does anyone have any fucking intel on the hummus shortage in LA? Like, I'm getting ready to write a letter to my fucking congressman. Like, what's the fucking deal? It's been this way for a long time now. And fucking Sabra, like, it took them a few days, but once they started getting back, whoever the poor minion in the fucking tweet department is fucking, was just like, oh my God, like, we're super sorry. Please, hope you stick it out. Like, I don't know. It was, you can just tell that, like, they have no ability, no free reign on how they can answer and take it in, like, any sort of comical stride at all, like the context it was posed in.
Oh my gosh.
It's just hilarious how uptight they were. Like, oh my God, like, we're super sorry. Like it was just the biggest asshole tweet ever. Like, I can't believe you're fucking even acknowledging it.
Yeah, I mean, like, not to be a dick, I actually know a little. I was wondering, because, like, you're in California, so it's a pretty liberal place, and Sabra has come under fire previously for having ties to, like, Israeli Zionist organizations.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've not done any
so,
homework.
Like, I think it got banned at Oberlin when I was working. I don't think we made our own hummus.
It's not banned, because it's still, I mean, they're still trickling in. And, like,
well, at first I was wondering if like, a given store had made their own decision to not carry
but here's the thing, even if you'd think if they did that, they would not leave a gaping hole in there.
Then you would obviously put a sign there to call attention to the issue.
Right, yeah. Right. So, yeah, I don't think that's it either, but
right.
It is a super white people problem bummer in my day-to-day life.
Hey, what? No, it's not. You're right. That is a very white person problem, because why don't you make your own hummus?
Because
it's the easiest thing in the world to make, and then you just get what you get. It's garlic, sesame oil, olive oil, chickpeas, maybe fucking something else, and then you go down to one of the Asian stores and you get you've already
described you've already laid out a flow chart way longer than I'm willing to commit to.
And you get a bunch of fucking chickpeas and you could make hummus for days, and you're out of your mind. Okay, whatever.
I don't know what kind of free time you think I have, where I'm fucking just
enough to go
up.
to fucking four Bills games.
I don't even know what it means to, like, chickpeas to me are almost, they're like an alien item to me. Like I don't.
My salads, they're delicious.
What do you mean?
I hate like raw whole chickpeas. So it's funny how much I like hummus, but they're like chalky. I hate them and things.
They're better as hummus, but I do put them in my salads.
I don't know. If I get bored enough, maybe after I finish this flick, Jeb, maybe if I get bored enough in that week before Easter, I'll give your fucking theory a whirl. I'll take a whack at it and see what happens. But I'm
You'll
guessing
save money and you won't be you won't fall victim to market fluctuations.
market value, with fucking supply chain
exactly
interruptions.
Exactly. This is COVID, man. You gotta adapt to keep up.
Adapt or die. Figure out your
Adapt
fucking
or die,
shit
please.
or die. So, anyways, Sabra raises weapon power if you get that spell, and then blinds enemies, as you might imagine. Again, if they were, I don't know, who knows, these guys, but the bros can't use them. I probably wouldn't care if they could. Doesn't matter. So yeah, so these are relatively these are the bunk offerings for level.
Did you
7.
happen to look at the strategy guide after all this?
I did, and I have a remark.
The magic thing is just like no.
Right? Yeah.
Don't buy this.
Yep, I definitely jotted that down for the latter portion when we talked that. So that's, I mean, there wasn't really, with no weapon or armor, there's really nothing to talk about. Commerce-wise, did you guys, I mean, did these spells, I mean, you have magic fucking guys. Do these spells mean anything to you?
Of course, man. I mean, so for my white wizard, I bought Cure 4, 100% bought that one.
That's not available here.
What's that?
It's not available here.
You bought that in Gaia.
Yeah, you bought that in Gaia. Gaia has the dope shit.
Yeah. We're in Onrak, and it does not have dope shit.
Yeah, these are like literally the bottom of the barrel as far as arcade.
No, I absolutely bought
You didn't.
Heal 3. Absolutely
Okay.
bought Heal 3.
Now, you bought Heal 3, but not Cure 4.
Yeah.
That one's that's the one of these four that has some, especially because if you want to fill out your fucking your spell book like that, you have 3 slots. That's definitely better than a rub.
Yeah, because a rub is made irrelevant by equipment.
Right, the ribbons and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't sure about like the saber one. Like it sounds okay, but on the basic weapon guide that I have, it mentioned some weapon that automatically casts it, and it was like, but too bad that spell doesn't work, so don't use this weapon. So when I saw that, I was kind of like,
isn't that what defense does? Isn't that what the defense sword does? I think
casts ruse, actually.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Something cast
that
it.
makes sense. Yeah.
Either way, yeah, I saw something
I think
that
it's
made
like
something cast saber. He's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he is right.
But in that case, the thing, and that's the shit of the defense, which we'll talk. I have a little blurb about that later too. But it only casts it on the person holding the weapon. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's the power gauntlet. The power gauntlet casts saber.
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah. But yes, you are correct, and I'm 90. Oh, dog. Male's here. Let's take a break here.
We actually have an act break, so that's perfect. At the direction of the Walmart greeter in Onrak, you have to canoe your ass west on the river outside of Onrak to reach the western side of the continent, and the desert in there that she said her pops was wheeling and dealing in. And the oasis is a cute little tiny itty-bitty mini desert partitioned off from the larger by a small grassed and wooded perimeter that is otherwise identical to the other desert tiles in the game. So I don't know, it's the second you see it, it's special, though, because of the surroundings, So, yeah, it was funny to me. Like, I did not remember it, like, the visual of it coming out of Onrak. So, like, I'm heading over there, and, like, you're like, I wonder how, you have these little moments, or I am, Jab, because of the length of time it's been since I really played this game, particularly this far into it. So, I have these moments where I'm like, it's, it feels anew, and like I'm going into this desert, popping out of the canoe, and I kind of have that feeling going on. And the second I scroll up far enough to see it, I'm like, there, yeah, and like it all floats back, So it's funny how, I don't know, even going into it, thinking I didn't know maybe where I was going. The second I saw it, I knew where I was going.
That was very much my impression for your experience. I was like, you don't know what you're doing, but you're going to pick up on a lot of it real quick.
Yeah. So when you step into it, you are in a shop, or you're transported to a shop, or a shop screen opens up, maybe is the proper terminology, with a dude dressed in traditional Arabian desert inhabitant garb, and all he has for sale is a bottle for $50K. And if you go to your inventory and you use it after you buy it, the "You Did a Thing" tune plays, and then you get the message, pop, a fairy appears, and then is gone. And that shit is just gone. And like, I didn't remember how this worked at all. So I had some freakouts. I kind of freaked out here. So like the shit's just gone, and I was like thinking to myself, I didn't remember what its purpose was, because I don't think I had spoken to that pirate. Maybe I don't remember, but it just didn't click to me. And so like I was like, well, fuck, what did that do? And like I'm looking, I'm like, did it at least heal everyone? And like, no, it didn't heal everyone. What the fuck did that do? And then
this is not Zelda.
And then you can. I was like, well, I go back. I'm like, well, fuck, I got plenty of money. I'll go in and just get another one and use it at the right place later, So I go in, and there's another. He has another one at the same price, and I buy it, And I'm thinking to myself, like, I can't say, like,
what?
I'm surprised an NES game would let you use a quest item in the wrong place. Or rather, I guess, like, I don't know, my expectation was that it wouldn't let me replace it, And I go in there and I replace it, so I'm like, well, then how important is this, And like, I don't know, I was just super fucking confused coming out of it. And, I would later learn that letting it out anywhere in the universe, of course, allows it to fly to the empty fairy pond in Gaia. And before I even get into this, I want to ask you guys something. Do we only know, you already said it, Jay, do we only know this fantasy game trope that fairies belong at ponds because Legend of Zelda established it previously? Is there anywhere else in the history of storytelling that is a thing?
I've seen it in movies, but that's been like, I feel like also afterwards, like also like late, like also late 90s,
Okay,
like
post LZ, okay. Yeah, so I'm curious whether, write in if you know, of an existence in storytelling lore where that was a thing prior to, 1987 when Zelda would have come out. So, yeah, because, and that is, like, they need you to know that. I mean, that's that's what this whole thing.
I swear in, like, British, English, Anglo, I should probably say, Anglo mythology, I swear there's a fairy in a lake somewhere.
Okay.
I think it's like a King Arthur thing.
Okay.
I swear there is.
Well, that would make it much more, I don't know, not believable, but just sensible to me, because that there is you need to have that existing knowledge to some degree or another, because when you go to Gaia and that pond is empty, and yes, you talk to the pirate there,
begging for a fairy.
Right, but if I think if you don't have that existing thing that like the fairy needs to go there, I do know that, and I still it didn't click immediately.
Well, they tell you if you go to Gaia first, which I did. So I did not open the bottle until I took it directly back to that pond in Gaia.
Okay. Yeah. So do they someone other than the pirate?
Yeah, somebody tells you about like the fairy's supposed to be at the pond. Like, but now she's gone or something like that. So I knew when I got the bottle, I was like, all right, so I'm going to take this bottle to that pond.
Well, CJ, I haven't done the townsfolk chapter in Gaia because we were not doing that until next episode. So
I'm just saying, as I was playing it, I was like, okay, sweet. So, like, you releasing the fairy then, I was kind of just confused, like, why would you do that?
You can do it anywhere. I did it later. I'll get here. So, I only realized that it flies to the empty fairy pond no matter where, because I accidentally, like that second one I bought, when I later go to the waterfall, I'm down in the waterfall and I'm trying to just quickly heal with heal potions, and I accidentally used it again, and got the pop, whatever, it's gone. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I don't know if I think maybe I went back to the caravan again and tried to get it again, and it wasn't there anymore. And I was like, fuck!
you can buy it twice,
Oh
but
my
not
gosh,
3 times?
dude.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's some sort of thing because that was a leaving and coming back and doing some other shit. So maybe there's some sort of threshold thing that
Yeah, it should be either. I mean, like
made the caravan go away.
traditional mathematics for a game like this. You could either buy that item one time and then never again, but
Right.
it cannot fail, or you can buy it
Yeah.
infinitely and it can fail.
Right, exactly. Yeah, there's no middle ground. Yeah, that is the significance, I guess, of what I'm getting at. We're in some
That's
middle
so
limbo
fascinating to me.
there.
Huh.
Yeah. I stopped. So yeah, I despite having found my initial person on the kind of on the hill potion. Yeah, in the waterfall cave. Yeah, so I released it in the waterfall cave, and then on the way back, I'm like, oh, I'll grab it again on the way back to Onrack before I save, and.
Yeah, in the waterfall cave.
What do you mean?
Is that how far
Yeah, I'm like, I
That's on our
didn't
notes.
go to the waterfall cave.
That's in this chapter for one. Even
Jay,
if you
haven't
didn't
been
go,
in the waterfall cave?
I have not been to the waterfall cave.
you used the guide and you didn't go to the waterfall cave. It's at the end of this chapter.
I didn't like follow the guide, but like I went to Gaia and I went to Onrack and then figured out like from the town's chatter themselves went through the steps I needed to do to go through the sea shrine and finish that. Like there was no reason to go to
That's not
waterfall.
true in my opinion. I guess we'll get to that in a moment. That's interesting
What?
to say because Onrack has like basically all the directives that Onrack. You know what this is. This is kind of a testament, I think. To you were a little more. It sounds like you were a little more focused on Gaia than Onrack as far as towns for your play here, and because the direction in Onrack takes you to the waterfall for sure. So my whole thing was, I guess we're talking about it now. Fuck it. I don't want to do the big. I'm very compartmentalized in the way, and I want to check all the little boxes on the objective list off before I do the big thing. And like, there's all sorts of direction in Onrack to take you up to the waterfall from the people, the townsfolk.
I remember them saying that there's a robot up north.
Yeah,
And so I was going to go there
by
next.
the waterfall. You take there's a bunch of they definitely take you up there with the dialogue and
But like because the sea shrine is more important and that slab is more important, therefore I have not gone to the
that's
other
to be
place.
debated too. That's very debated too. Whether which is more important. What you get
Really?
from you don't know it yet, I guess, because you
Oh,
haven't been
well,
able to
yeah.
use
I
it.
definitely don't know.
Yeah, yeah, that's not true.
You think of some
whack.
Well, I don't know.
text.
I mean, I
Wait
guess
till you
Jab.
see this shit.
Yeah, Jab. I would say they're probably equally important. The two.
Of course, they're equally important.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
the game.
it's all part of the
Gatekeeps
flow.
itself, right?
Right.
Oh man.
But it is definitely not lesser.
I would say it's one of the more like I don't know. It's really the game's starting to get interesting now. It's getting like almost like sci-fi now.
Yep. Yep. Getting into fantasy star realm.
What?
You know?
What? Oh,
Or-
here we go.
Right, I'm thinking of the right game, right? Fantasy Star. That's a Sega one, right? Fantasy. Yeah.
It's multi-platform now. Multi-platform.
That's true. Originated as a Sega deal.
Original.
And if you had played that first one with us, holy fuck, would that be cemented into your head? That this is a Sega problem in my life. Okay. Well, that's all very. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, this is great.
Fascinating.
That there's divergence in our experiences. Even I don't know. Yeah, it's just I love to hear that it can be experienced in different ways. That there's, I don't know.
Clearly, I got to go there
some
next,
open
though. Clearly.
Yeah. So anyway,
The thing is, like, we
I
can
was
play
down
this game
there.
very linearly, or in a very linear sense. But you guys are proving right there with your divergence from each other, and I haven't even killed Carrie yet, and I've got Excalibur.
Yeah, but I think to do what you're doing requires an all-encompassing knowledge to be able to get that far off the path.
It would never occur to you to just do it, but
Right.
I mean, if you got lost enough, you could stumble upon things.
You could. That's true. Yeah. I would love that guy. I mean, it's impossible data to acquire, but I just would love to know the data. Literally the number of human beings out of the total pool of human beings that have played the game that have managed to do that organically. I would just love to know how insignificant that p-value is.
A good stats recall there for your p-value. If any of our listeners have accidentally done this game out of order in some interesting way, let us know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a good poll post thing to put up. Actually, to give us some sort of wacky ass out of traditional flowchart way that you've experienced this game. That's really cool. User feedback topic. Yeah. So I had that happen to me, and then it wasn't. So when I stopped back at the caravan to try to score it again after the waterfall cave, and it wasn't there, I freaked the fuck out. I thought I broke the game. I broke the fucking game, and I'm literally Googling fucking things, reading Reddit fucking shit, and that's
you did all that work with those fucking thieves. Your heart was fucking racing, dude.
Yeah, I was terrified. Yeah, I was fucking terrified that I broke the game in some way that I could not get back. And I had saved. Because that's what I said. It was later. I had left and went to the waterfall cave. So I had done that, saved, and then fucking had this experience. So there was no going back on my OG fucking hardware here. So, I was just, oh my God, I was freaking the fuck out. So pretty terrifying. And only OG hardware NES experience can, emotional experience, or rather, only an NES OG, only an emotional experience you can have on OG NES hardware.
Yeah.
So I was trying to fucking sputter out there. Sorry.
Yeah, once you got it out, I agree with that. Yeah. I don't have that problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost did in the ice cave, but by almost, I was concerned for one reload, and that was no problem.
I spent a solid, I don't know, realistically 10 minutes over there, just in fucking full halt palpitation mode.
What did I do?
Yeah, what did I do? Holy fuck. Yeah. So, yeah, you do go to the Gaia Fairy Pond eventually, if you know what you're doing. And there is a fairy sprite there now, wherever you released it, whether it be right in front of it or in the fucking waterfall. And when you speak to the fairy, she says, "That pirate trapped me in the bottle." Are they? Is it a they? I don't know. Or what are fairies? Are they gender specific? It's hard to say.
Good question. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they have to be, right?
feminine.
Right. So, that pirate trapped me in the bottle. I will draw Oxyale from the bottom of the spring for you. Thank you for saving me. After that little piece, remember, Oxyale will give you air, so they really hammer that into you. And then logically, you would go back to Onrak with your newfound Oxyale, and you speak to the submarine maker woman, and she is fucking ecstatic. She what? Warriors, you have Oxyale. The mermaids wait. Please help them. And then she just disappears. So you can step onto the submarine and be immediately transported to the shrine. But we'll get to that later. Okay. The only other direction provided by Onrak inhabitants is the waterfall. So let's paddle our asses up Shit Creek and peep game on that, at least for the purposes of the pod, even if some of us haven't quite gotten there yet.
Hateration.
This joint is fucking, you walk down here, this joint is fucking huge. It is a single floor, almost exclusively made up of overlapping 4x4 rooms with no connecting hallways to them. And what that is, guys, is a fucking map-making nightmare.
Okay.
So yeah, I started making them.
This will be a tough one to do.
Oh god, dude, I started fucking doing it and I just gave up. At some point, which has not happened to me making any other map for any other game yet. I got probably 2/3 of the way into it, and I don't think it can fit on a single piece of graph paper, even with the little, where you hit the edge here, A, go over here to B, and put it, it still doesn't fit on a fucking piece of graph paper. So, I was just, I was trying to, I had that happen, and I'm looking at it, and then I'm at that point, I'm fucking, I'm just gonna, because I had not looked at a map, I'm not Googling maps, trying to just take it fucking organically and experience it as close to the first time as I can. So I get to that point and I'm oh, this is so bad. And looking at the graph paper and I'm fuck, I'm just gonna Google a map. I look at the map and I'm just I was looking at it, I was just too disgusted. I was this is just the aesthetic of it. It just made me fucking sick to my stomach to look at. So I just quit 7th grade lengths of middle school football. I'm a wide receiver. You're only gonna throw the ball twice in 3 fucking games. Fuck this. I'm out. So
how many targets?
Same exact sentiment for me. See, I just quit making the map and just threw it away.
How many targets did you get in those 3 games?
Gosh.
0. Scotty White got 2. I got 0.
Fuck.
Yeah, awful. They're bitching
I
about
demand
blocking.
a trade. Send me to Wellington. I actually throw the ball.
I want to go to. I'm taking my talents to South Beach or something. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Taking your talents to Wellington or Midview.
yeah, fuck this, I'm out. Yeah, they're like bitching me. The very first play, this is a fun story. The very first play I got put in, I remember it so.
Oh my
funny.
God, I remember this.
I was offsides. I lined up offsides.
You're a wide receiver offsides.
The worst. All you gotta do is look down at the ball. I just couldn't do it. I was too nervous or something. I don't know. I just couldn't. Yeah.
Check with the fucking. You see it every game, dude. They check with the ref. Am I good? Yeah. Okay.
They don't check with the ref. They look at the fucking. They're checking. They're looking at the ball. They look over the ball.
They literally every fucking receiver looks at the ref on the sideline, and then the ref nods at him. He's telling him he's not offsides.
I've never seen that before.
You've never watched football, then. Turns out all those Bills games you go to, it's fucking worthless. And it reflects in your play in 7th grade.
Yeah. My statistical output corroborates that theory. The occupants of this cave are basically the same as the Castle of Ordeal. And they are Mudgulls, Nightmares, Mummy, Wizzy, Mummy, Emo, cover band mixtures, Paralisks, and there's literally no threat whatsoever to the Ninja Bros in here. I don't know about. Did you actually do this yet, Jem, or no?
The waterfall?
Yeah.
Yes, I absolutely had to.
Okay. Oh yeah, for you. Well, I had to. Oh yes, I see. Yeah. Yep. Okay. And then Jay has not, right?
Yes, I'm walking in there right now, fighting some nightmares.
Supporting
just terminated them.
About the inhabitants. Okay, so you, and again, it's so linear that I don't even feel bad saying this to you as you're playing it. But it's a single room to be found at the very end, and inside there is a robot mentioning Onrak. The robot mentioned in Onrak. He's milling around with a bunch of chests in this one room, and it's the only thing in this whole fucking huge place. Like, I remember first going down in here, and for some reason, maybe it was just mapping or something. I don't know. There was some reason I came down here one time earlier because it had some. Yeah, it was super early when I was just exploring. That's right. Yeah. So when I was just exploring for last episode, I think, and it had, like I mentioned, I had no idea where to go, and I had this memory of the waterfall being significant, and maybe I even talked to people in Onrak and they talked about it. I don't remember, but in any event, I went here, I popped in, and like I saw the look of it when I walked in, and could see like the room that it's like. The other side of the fucking game, basically. The other side of the map when you first walk in, because you're all the way in the bottom right, and you're trying to get all the way to the bottom left, and you can see the other side of it that you can't get to. And there was some reason I was just like, no, this isn't it. This is too complicated. Like, too much work.
Couldn't be that.
So I was like, yeah, this isn't the next thing. There's no way. So I just left. So it is, I don't know. It's just, it's huge. It's just fucking huge, I guess is what I'm getting at. It's
very sprawling.
Yeah, it's a huge
I just
map.
walked to what I thought was the end of it, and I'm just like, okay, that's clearly not the way to go. Got it.
And I think, I think when I first came here to pre-class change and shit, like these, it's pre-Castle Ordeal, and Castle Ordeal is imposing enemy-wise, so, I think I also maybe got whacked by a couple things, and I was like, nah, this isn't it.
Yeah, Jay, just try to stay left as you go.
Yep.
That'll get you there.
So the entrance to this room, for me anyways, was guarded by Mummy Wizzy Mummy combo deal. It's usually a mummy, or mummies, Wizzy mummies, and then one other thing. It's like kind of swaps
Cactus,
out.
I believe.
Yeah. Oh, I think it swaps out. I think it changes the third one. They do different groups in here.
I got Cactus, which is always scary for me because I always had this like outrageous fear of getting turned to stone in this game.
Because you have so few, with the fewer people. Yeah, I mean it could easily fuck your life up much quicker and faster. Yeah. For the bros, those combos are cake. And you talk to the robot, and he says, again, I guess we don't know his gender, but it says, take this cube. With it, you can transfer to the floating castle. Talk to him again, and he just says, please. ... Explain that to me, actually, Jab. Can you explain that, what that's about?
What was it? Say it again.
He just says, after he gives you his first dialogue slug is, take this cube. With it, you can transfer to the floating castle. Okay, that's useful information. And then anytime you talk to him after that, he just says, please, ... And what is he begging you for there? What is he asking?
Oh, yeah. So,
or can you answer that question without spoiling?
Yeah, I'll skip it for now.
Okay.
There is an explanation.
Okay. Well, I read it.
Of sorts. I think you kind of got to read into it a little bit and kind of like role play it a little bit, but maybe not though. I mean, the Nintendo Power actually had some dope stories in here, so maybe that chapter when we get to it will have a the proper explanation. But there is an explanation.
Okay. Word. I guess, maybe I even just kind of like guessing, almost
you can
like
kind of infer a little bit.
That little section at the end of the chapters, the questions that are still to be answered. Yeah, that little part of the guide. Like one you could say is, if you'd have to assume like the people in the town said they saw him like rocketing from the fucking thing or something. Like he's been separated from his clan or whatever. I guess is possible.
Again, as we said, there's some sci-fi elements now.
Right. Yeah. So maybe that's what that's what it's getting at. But
wow,
I definitely don't know.
To see a robot all of a sudden. What is happening? Oh, okay. I got the cube. Okay. That was really quick. You guys are right.
Yeah.
That was not very linear, very quick.
Yeah.
Tough challenge.
If you have exit, you can really do yourself a big favor here.
Well, I got to grab the. Keep running in the mummies. I haven't grabbed the things from the chest yet.
I can tell you what's in. I can tell you what's in those right now. 24,850 gold across 3 chests, a ribbon, a Wizzy staff, and defense. And as I'm sure Sean McD would say, a good defense is your best offense. Defense is actually a weapon, and it's a ninja-enabled one at that. That's 30-35 on the offensive split numbers. And this blew Jordan's 2120 giant sword out of the water, so I gave it to him. And the sprite for this bad boy is a big orange sprite on the battle screen, which is really fucking cool looking. And I would learn on accident later, it casts ruse to raise evade of the wielder when used as an item. Nice. And that's a pretty good weapon for the ninjas for sure.
And as far as I can tell, it's actually the best sword for a red mage.
A red mage.
It's debatable. You can go back and forth between that one and Sun Sword as far as their stats go. It's the best sword for a red mage. A red wizard until much later in the game.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's it. I actually doing notes for this one kind of coined like that split thing like dawned on me as like just some vernacular for talking about these later weapon games and comparing them, because it is getting to the point where they're not absolute betterings. You have to make choice. Like it's a trade off between the hit percentage and the damage numbers, or the whatever the two numbers are. It's a little bit of a kind of give and take.
Evade, I believe.
Well, for armor, yeah. What are the offensive ones though?
Hit and
hit. It's probably hit percentage.
Damage. And hit percentage.
Yeah. So it's like you're trading off in some cases, giving up. Like I have one later with the cat claw where I end up keeping the cat claw because of its potential multi-hit capability. Yeah. Even though it's a little lesser on its numbers, so it's you're making decisions here, and it's forcing you to make decisions, smart decisions, if you know the numbers. I mean, if most people playing the game. You have the numbers on the chart actually. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, even when we were playing the game, I remember distinctly like equipping the giant sword and then going and fighting something and being like, okay, it's doing about 100 damage, and then you throw the ice sword on, it's like, oh, it's about 115 or something.
Right.
So I mean, you can do the math they do reflect actually pretty well.
Right. And then the wizard staff casts Confuse on all enemies when used, so I'm holding onto it for funsies, but I'll probably never use it.
Pretty sure Confuse it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have much faith that it would. Yeah, so you guys, well, he has a red mage, so he's probably going to slap that defense on his red mage now, yeah?
Yeah, probably the best move.
Especially after the conversation we just had. but I was
telling you how to play the game there a little bit, but
yeah, I was going to ask you whether these come-ups did anything for you guys, but the ribbon's nice. Getting a ribbon's nice.
I mean, yeah, the defense is... Yeah, well, a ribbon is like a fucking very powerful item that actually is allowing me to do some crazy shit at this point now. Basically just pushed me to the end game. And then, yeah, defense, like I said, is the best sword for my red mage. So yeah, this is actually not only was the cube a come up, but like the equipment was a nice get.
Bestiary Animals. Jay, talk to us about your Bestiary Animals.
All right, so a lot of crazy creatures this time, man.
I know you motherfuckers are gonna steal mine. I can already do it.
I'm positive you guys are gonna steal mine too. So
yeah,
whatever.
I'm not feeling good about this.
All right, so on that note, the first one is the Frost Gator.
Ooh.
Motherfucker.
Encounter this bad boy very often. It has 142 hit points. It can hit 56 to 112, so decent hits.
They got a little punch to them, dude. I was leveling up with them. They kind of hit a little bit.
Yeah, man. But when you beat
56
them,
to 112 times 2. Fuck yeah, that's not nothing.
Yeah. Well, but when you beat them, you get 2,000 gold and 1,800 experience. So
1890.
yeah, I'm taking that all day, and they're susceptible to lit. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'm striking them with both my red mage and black one.
Yeah, but they're oddly. I mean, it makes sense, but it's usually not how the game works. They're resistant to fire.
That is very weird. Yeah, they like trick you, right?
Yeah. Well, you could. I mean, you could argue either direction, I suppose, but I feel like the direction it usually goes is the opposing element is a weakness as opposed to a strength. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a bunch of BS this time. So you would think that.
Yeah, it's a little. I mean, like you got to role play it, right? That's what I always say. I mean, you're gonna cast fire on a thing that's in the water.
Yeah.
Well, to me, it's just that it's frozen too. Like it's just resistant to it because it's literally. Well, I mean, here like the reason the reason I chose them as one of mine is I enjoy the complete biological infeasibility of a reptile with no internal process capable of generating body heat being a tundra-based life form. Like, to me, that is just a hilarious juxtaposition. That's why I actually. Because they don't. There's no way for their body to function if they're not accumulating and basking in heat.
They need that external source. It's also, I like them. I didn't pick them, but I like them because it's one of the few times in the game where it's just like, the monster is a real thing. Gator.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
You can you can root in something in real life. Yeah, for sure. Yep. Those are fun.
Sorry, Jay, we kind of stole your spotlight.
Yeah, no. The next one up on the docket, from the Sea Shrine, the Naga.
You motherfucker!
I almost picked that one, but I didn't.
I mean, when I ran into this thing, it was like sitting in the middle of nowhere, like in that big open room. So it was kind of like, yo, is this thing important? But it has 356 hit points.
That's hilarious. So can you tell us, like, is it significant enough of a tile in that first level map you're talking about where you walk in?
Too.
Yeah. It's just like out in the open. Like when you're walking around, kind of like, all right, am I going to run into an enemy? What's kind of happening? And then,
oh yeah, not even sure
what I mean?
This is a danger floor. Yeah, I feel you on that. And then yes, it could easily be a boss there. It's like where on the map though?
It was on the first floor. It's like when I was going up to the Kraken.
First floor.
Right. So wait, you mean the first floor where the boss is, or the first floor
where the boss
walk
is? No, the first floor where the boss is.
The bottom floor. Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
so
the first
like
time you
when
followed those?
Yeah, it was crazy. So I'm looking for it, right? So I'm like, all right,
those fuckers are everywhere.
The feed is down here, right? And I'm not looking at the guide at this point. I'm just like, looking around, and I don't know the name of it. So I see this, and it says Naga, and I'm like, oh man, this is the boss. And I kill it, and I'm like, it's not the boss. Definitely not the boss.
Yeah, I mean, I chose them because they look fucking awesome. It's like it's a serpent with what I'd equate to a Medusa head,
Yes,
so,
Medusa.
So they're fucking cool looking, man.
But still, again, susceptible to lit, so struck her down pretty daggone quick, just like before. And with that, I got 2,355 gold, the exact same amount of experience, which is great. So
really good,
I'd fight more of those if they would send them my way.
They can annoyingly they got a bunch of spells, but they can annoyingly fucking poison you too, which is go to that item screen inconvenience at this point in the game. It's not it's not a danger. It's just like fuck.
You gotta fucking organize your party.
Yeah. Well, I don't have to, but yes, normally you would.
That's a good point, actually. All right, Jay, steal his third one.
Yeah. If it is, I'll be amazed.
That would be incredible.
No, the third one, I'm sure we have not all chosen this, was Amazingly Water.
The elementals. Okay.
I did not pick that.
Yeah. Right. So this was, and I picked this. I originally was going to pick the Saber Tea, but then I'm like, wait a minute, what is the deal with this? Like, why are we fighting water? You know what I mean? Like the element of water itself. Which I mean, I guess this is Final Fantasy. If we're fighting snakes with freaking Medusa heads, then I guess water can fight us as well. And be. You know,
It is interesting. I've always thought it's so interesting that for this and the air elemental, it changes to this cyclone sprite as opposed to that more humanoid-minded elemental sprite that they have for fire and earth. You know, it is interesting to me that they made that they, I guess, dehumanized it. You know, is interesting to me.
Yeah, it's like this is the element coming at you. That we're just like somebody, like something is manipulating the element, which would make more sense if you had like a wizard nearby.
Right?
You know?
Yeah. That's
dark magic going on down here.
Yeah, maybe that is also the significance to me. That it changes it. You know, dehumanizing is kind of a little bit of a synonym to it, but like it takes away the autonomy of it. That it needs something else guiding it if it's not this being that has kind of the traditional fucking characteristics that you can associate with consciousness.
I mean, like frankly, like every other enemy in this game has a head,
right,
with eyes, and you can identify with that.
Yes. What are the stats on those, Jay?
Stats for water: 300 health points. It does 69 through 138 damage. Once you defeat it, you get 1,962 XP, 800 gold, and it was susceptible to ice.
And that's interesting too. That they're one of the few they're not susceptible to lit is really interesting. You know, because everything
Water is just merely a conductor.
Exactly. No, it makes total sense. And freezing it would obviously harm the way with which it functions and could even potentially pose danger. Like it's super smart.
Much more than lightning or electricity would.
Yep, super smart fucking choice and distinction, but interesting nonetheless.
Yep.
Word, Jab, are you gonna fucking take my last one or?
Well, let's see. Let's give it a shot. Okay, up first, drum roll. Anklo.
All right.
Oh, let me find that on the thing here. Sorry. So yeah, as I was like trying to find a decent spot to level up, I remembered leveling up in the Mirage Desert or whatever the fuck it's called. The listeners are freaking out right now. But yeah,
that might be right. I think that's right.
They hit like a fucking truck, dude. I have to like run from these things, and you can't they don't take a lot of physical damage. They're kind of hard to kill, even at my point, like with Excalibur and over leveled and shit.
They're super defense. Yeah, we talked. I think I talked about one of them. The red. Those are the reds in the last episode. I think. Yeah, they're fucking.
We talked about them a little
brutal,
bit.
Yeah, brutal.
So they have 352 hit points. They do a brutal 98 to 196 attack power.
Heck yeah, man.
You do get 2,610 experience, but then the ultimate kick in the nuts, you get one gold. Fuck you. So I have to run from them. Like I had to come up with a different system, which I've now got that system, and it's the most superior system in the game, so I'm not worried about it. Probably won't counter them too much anymore. My second one, drum roll, please. There it is.
Jay's got the drum roll.
Thank you. I can see you were a percussion major. Is Gas Dragon.
Yeah, I seriously thought about it. Yeah, those are fucking cool. The dragons,
really cool sprite. And I like the idea of a dragon that doesn't breathe fire, breathes gas.
Yep.
That's cool. Great sprite, as we said. I think entirely unique. Maybe the blue dragon looks like that too. 352 hit points, 72 to 144 attack power, 4,068 experience, 5,000 gold.
Crazy.
So you get a lot for it. Susceptible to ice, immune to quake, and has a special attack of poison gas.
Would you, like how, I don't think I've fought one yet. How much of a imposition are they?
Apparently not much. And I actually did the waterfall cave with, I think, silver swords. So obviously not too much of a problem if you're decently leveled. Word. And now I've got Excalibur, so it's nothing matters anymore.
Yeah, I struck them down for pretty much no problem myself.
Yeah, I was mildly disappointed. Like that was the thing. They weren't in that list I sent you guys because I didn't fucking bump into them. And then I was going through the, we get to the chapter later. Like I saw it in the overworld enemy breakdown or list or whatever, and I was like, fuck, I didn't fucking see those.
Yeah, I remember being very scared of them as a child.
Sure.
Looks like the blue dragon is the same sprite.
Dragons are scary. I think all the dragons are the same sprite. I believe they all.
I don't think about this.
The bone one, or
anyways,
the Castle Ordeal one. What was the bone? Is that the bone or zombie dragon?
Yeah, they have a different posturing. Whatever. And my last one is, drum roll please. There it is. T-Rex.
Okay.
This is my list last time, Chad. How much pot do you smoke?
A lot.
Oh man.
T-Rex also hits like a truck a little bit. It's not like its little brother, the Tyro. This one's got some.
Oh, maybe I had Tyro, and then we talked about T-Rexes though.
Oh, okay.
So
that's a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah, T-Rex is a blue sprite. Good looking sprite, actually.
Looks like a T-Rex. That's what I
Looks
said.
like a T-Rex.
Looks like a T-Rex.
600 hit points, 115 to 230 attack power, so definitely will take a chunk out of your ass. And 7,200 experience points, so definitely worth it. No immunities, no special shit at all, and you get 600 gold for killing them.
7,000 is like, it's still, I mean, I'm at level 34, I want to say. It's like...
I'm starting to wonder if that's better than my plan. But my plan, I take no damage.
A fifth of a level or something.
Right, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, you got to split that. It's divided by 4
Well,
for
that's
you.
true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But still, I mean, 7,000 divided by 4 is still a large number.
Yes, indeed. Okay, well, we already talked about 2/3 of mine, but the last one I had were the ghosts. And
freaking hated these things.
man.
They're kind of rough, man.
They are fucking, They are.
I had a real hard time with these in the Sea Shrine.
Yep. Yeah, they're no shit. They're no bullshit. I'd say they're probably
The biggest concern.
I don't think there's anything that was more of a problem for me in the Sea Shrine. I would
the Fire 3 was my friend here.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what we do.
So yeah, my chief reason for this one is actually something kind of a little bit like not necessarily in the game, just more about my own personal perception and experience with this video game. Like when I saw these for the first time, because of their color palette, the way they are, I realized that this undead sprite, which we've seen for other undeads, Shadow and Image, and there's probably one or two others. So we've seen these previously, but with the color palette, I perceived what I was seeing differently than this one because it was, I think, maybe lighter. And the sprite is actually, the thing's head is turned towards camera. So if you, I recommend Googling this, listener and you guys, so you can see what the fuck I'm talking about, because it's pretty
I'm looking
cool.
at it right now.
Yeah,
it's
so
looking over its right arm.
Exactly. So it's looking at the player's POV, and its eyes are just poking out above its claw held in front of its face. Yeah, and I've always perceived these to be looking off to the right, towards your hero sprites in the battle screen, just by the way they looked, And I don't know, there's just something that's way fucking creepier about looking towards camera, and I like that shit, So it was really cool to me to kind of realize that when I was going through the online bestiary thing to sort all these things out, So it was just a really cool moment for me because I've played this game a million times and I've certainly bumped into those. I've never thought anything notable about those sprites at all, with the images and the shadows earlier in the game, and then all the other times I've ever played it, So it was just cool to me that I made this realization, and I was like, I don't know, it made them scarier and more meaningful to me. And
Shadow. I'm looking at it right now. It's harder to see.
Yep, for sure. And the image, I think, is the one that has a little bit of a blue tint, more of a blue tint to it. These are I think the ghosts are like white,
Yeah.
So like all the whole thing. So yeah, because that's the thing too with the with these other colors, like it's the highlights, So like the edge of his face is what's colored the darker color in the other palettes. So this one being all white just highlighted more pixels essentially, So it was, or not essentially, literally. So it. It just made it more easier, clearer to see.
Yeah, you can see pretty well on the image as well.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, these dudes are bad motherfuckers though. When you find them in the Sea Shrine, they bang for 93 to 186 a whack, and they can stun your ass with a fire-based paralysis. So that is pretty lit. And they're weak to harm and fire, like all undead things are. But I have a fire 2 item now, but jerk off, big deal,
Those ghosts in the Sea Shrine, as I went to get the tablet, they killed me a few times. I had to load.
Yeah, again, the stunning.
Wow.
Same thing
Really?
with we were talking about stone. Yeah, stunning is a serious problem for you because of the just fewer human beings.
Yep.
Yeah. Or wait, do you because it's not a permanent status thing, do you just stay stunned?
The problem is, like, as they hit you with attacks, if one of them's a stun attack again, I think it resets.
It resets it.
So you're stunned and you're just getting fucking pummeled. And yes, like, I died over by the marsh caves to, like, ghouls or something because they did, like, 3 damage per turn, but I had this thing
like, out of it,
turned up to, like, fucking 10 times faster speed, and they just, like, smoked me because I couldn't get out of it.
Wow.
And these are the same thing. And they fucking kind of hit hard, so it's not like you're just getting 1 damaged. Like, they're doing some significant damage to my steel-clad knight.
For sure, yeah. Their HP is only 180, though, thankfully. So it's kind of almost shocking to me, actually. They're
180?
HP, yeah, total. And then they do the double duty thing on XP and gold, but it's only 990, you know. So that I don't feel that's relative at all to what the danger.
Yeah, you get a group of 4 of them, you don't even get 4,000. Like not everyone gets 1,000, barely.
I want to say I was even running from them.
Yeah.
On the tail.
Oh, I definitely was running from them. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Those are tough.
Word. Well, that's it for those. Moving on to Tales of the Grind. Jab, it sounded like you had some sort of interesting shit going on. Let's start with yours.
Yeah, mine's pretty straightforward. So I jumped ahead to things I won't mention. But blah, blah, blah. I was able to get a couple of a second ribbon in part of my adventuring and gathering. So I went to Peninsula Power and I was just kind of like, fucking kind of... This club's kind of played out. Don't want to be here anymore. So I took off to Onrak, and I played around the river for a while. That was pretty good with those Frost Gators and whatnot. You did pretty well, but again, they kind of hit like a truck. So then I ran over to the desert with Mirage Tower in it, and I walked around the desert for a while. Anklos chased me out of there pretty fucking quickly. And what was worse is I started running from him, and I was able to get away from him pretty easily, but once, like, there was a certain point where I had like 7 encounters that were Anklos in a row, and I was like, okay, so this is not.
They are. I did feel there's a lot of them over there.
There's not a lot of enemies over there, and for whatever reason, like, they're overrepresented. So I roleplayed that like a fucking group of Anklos.
No natural predators. No natural predators.
Evidently. And not even unnatural predators because I left. So then I went into Mirage Tower itself, and I tried it in there, and I liked what I was getting done in there. That was pretty good. But then I just went all the way up. I got my shit and blah, 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 blah. And then I decided to give the Ice Cave another try. And I went to the Ice Cave. So I flew over to the Ice Cave. I went inside. I went all the way through the Ice Cave, and I went to where you get the floater from. That chest has an eye right in front of it.
Oh, yeah.
And the eye, I think... Sorry, guys. I should have had this pulled up, huh? That was loud, too. Eye. 3,000... So it has 162 hit points, so, like, Excalibur is just butchering this thing. Even my red mage can kind of just kill him in one hit sometimes. 30 to 60 attack power. What's
4,000, right? It's got 4,000 XP.
3,225.
Okay, yeah.
So, but the thing is, it rarely attacks you, and even when it does, it's only doing 1 damage. But, like, it never attacks you. It only uses the quadruple X spell and, like, rub and shit like that. It says that it can use lit too, but I've never seen it. And the long and short of it is, it's a 1-round combat that gets each of my characters 1,600 experience
at no threat whatsoever.
No threat at all. So, like, as you guys saw, I sent you like 4 pictures. I was just laying in bed and I leveled up like 5 times.
Oh, gosh. I was like, no wonder. What is happening, man?
The ribbon just like completely makes all of his attacks null and void. And although it's not the best return necessarily, and you got to be a little careful about the perilous footing around you and not falling into a fucking hole.
Yeah.
You can't beat the bang for the buck.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that I'll level anywhere else, to be honest.
Yeah, that is a very good point.
So, yeah, that was me.
Yeah, I think I can't believe I should have checked that, actually. I think I have ribbons on everyone now. I've been able to find them or something to equip everyone with, or close to, maybe 3 of the 4. In any event.
Interesting.
Word, okay. Jay, what'd you do on the grind front?
So at first, I didn't think I had to grind. I was kind of just, if I came across enemies, I was laying them down. It wasn't really a problem. The problem came when I went up into the desert into the Oasis rather, and did not have 50 coal to buy the freaking
That's a great.
ferry.
It's insane to me to not have
Dude,
50,000 gold.
He's got spells to buy.
Well, yeah, I mean, I had like at the time, I think I want to say I had like 140,000 gold or something, and I was like, each spell was like 45,000 a pop, and I had to get for like the red, I had to get for everybody.
You have a very magic user heavy, you have a very high maintenance ass fucking group.
Exactly. So when that happened, I was like, well, I guess I'm going back to the Peninsula of Power. So I went back there, honestly, and it didn't take me any, that much time to go from level, I want to say 21 up to almost like 23, mid-level 23. And that's, I pretty much just went back there just because that was the place that I knew. I wasn't sure about like, I thought about grinding here in the desert, but I was like, I wasn't sure, I wasn't confident yet in my abilities into the, into the area. I wasn't sure like how big of a scale it was going to be. So I was like, let me just go back to what I know,
Yeah. Get that familiar.
Jay going with the fucking comfort zone.
Hey, it worked, man. It worked. Midway playing through here, I kind of was leveling through the Sea Shrine at one point, but I'm level 24 now, so
yeah, Sea Shrine's a good one too. I mean, I was reviewing some of those numbers, and holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder if I shouldn't just be there. Because you do, right in that first floor, you pop right back out into the town.
Yep.
Yeah, especially with like having exit now.
You got to go to that fucking chateau. You got to go to the chateau, but yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a problem for you.
Got to stay at the chateau, the fucking Ritz over there.
Only you would complain about staying in a nice place.
Well, I just want, I want an Airbnb. I don't like their industrial vibe over there. I don't like not industrial, but I don't know, commercialized, corporatized.
Corporate's probably better.
Feel to the hotel system. Okay, well, I did the babiest of baby grinds before heading to the Sea Shrine, because I noticed 3 of the bros were less than 2K from level 30, but that was it for grinding on my end. I mean, I already told you guys, last time that because of my over-leveling pre-class change, I'm still like way ahead of the curve necessary to just win shit, so... Yeah, the need to actually, in a dedicated manner, grind is just not fucking there. Yeah, these dudes are ready to party with just about anything, anytime. I would have a number of level ups while mapping the Sea Shrine, though, and when I hit 31, I got some confirmation on the spell point shit. The Ninja Bros got spell points in levels 1 through 4 when I went to 31. So I think we can call that hypothesis we formed last episode regarding the spell numbers, a data-supported theory now that like every 2 levels, all 4 of those levels that they can use will get a spell point. So I'll be maxed on those by 33, 35.
Wow.
So we are not rejecting our null hypothesis.
Correct.
In favor of the alternative. Got it.
After popping down to the Sea Shrine via the submarine in Onrak, you're presented with an environment that looks a lot like a castle, but the outskirts are water tiles and everything has a purplish blue hue to it, kind of a little bit reminiscent of the Dragonlord Castle kind of vibe.
Yep.
In Dragon Warrior. And I mapped the shit out of this bad boy, and the scans of those will be in the show notes along with the rest of our map treasure trove. The entry floor has a bunch of empty rooms and 2 treasure rooms. There's 9,900 and 2,000 gold. Who cares? And as far as what you have patrolling these areas, yes, we have Nagas here. Water, sea trolls, lobsters, great sharks, and shark mashups. They're combo groups. And then Wizzy Sahag and Red Sahag parties also comboing, rolling around in here. And there are steps going up in the northeast and a set going down in the northwest. And I went up first. There's a lot of action on a large floor with 6 rooms. Did you go up or down first, Jay?
I went up first. I mean, I grabbed the chest and I was like, that was just the way I went. I went, down, then up, and then I crossed again. So
okay. I mapped the whole floor, so I knew the thing existed going down. But I fortuitously we will get to went up as well. And yes, you go up to this next room, and this is where ghosts first appear. And I wrote, "Fuck, do those suck?"
Just a little bit.
They do, man. They got me a few times, man.
Yeah, and then also they add in big eyes and sea snakes here too.
And big eyes. I'm looking at that. 3,591 experience. Holy
Yep.
fuck.
This place was fascinating because we're underground, so I'm just casting lit all the time, just laying waste to stuff. And these guys were the first things like to just smack me in the face for like 100 damage. And I was like, oh, this is not working.
Which
the
one?
ghost, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because everything else is like almost everything else is susceptible to
water
lit.
based, right?
Yeah, so I'm just no problem.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of at some point you imagine they're just fucking literally dragging and dropping whatever into environments just to populate them with shit. But like,
No, these are the ghosts of what? The fallen mermaids from when Kraken took over, and sailors from Onrak.
Okay, fair. There we go.
But do you guys feel like this was as, I guess, densely populated as other dungeons or places like that? Because I felt like this was sparse in terms of enemies.
I don't think I recall. I don't think I recall not thinking that to myself. And also, I'm a shitty fucking perspective to get on this because I'm mapping, so I'm just I am overkill and a half on the number of encounters I'm having because I am fucking walking to every corner of these fucking things. So my perception will be skewed anyways, so they all feel like fucking laborious to me.
I will say this. In playing last night and this morning, I kind of got but this happened in a couple different places. It wasn't just the Sea Shrine. I kind of got the feeling, I had the thought in my mind, I was like, why did I have such a hard time with this as a kid? I feel like I'm not getting attacked as much as
I mean, we talked about this on previous ones too. Like, it is it has been amazing to me in this experience how less dramatic it feels. And that is, again,
I'm much more in control of this, and that's because I'm an old man who has crisis
real responsibilities.
I know how to navigate life now.
Yeah.
But I just felt like I wasn't getting in that many fights. So maybe I agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how it just felt.
Yeah, like Marsh Cave, like I said, like I made it a point, like I walked around to be like, yeah, I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
And just
facing your demons.
Exactly. I was traumatized by my childhood, specifically the Marsh Cave. Nothing else, just the Marsh Cave.
Yeah. I'm not saying that the battles weren't tough. Like, I definitely had to heal and pure and all that kind of good stuff, but it just felt like there were overall less of those things. Like, this felt more narrative driven because of all the stories in both Gaia and Onrak back and forth, and because of the mermaids in general, and the fact that obviously when you get to the 5th floor, you're talking to all the mermaids.
Right, yeah.
This felt just more narrative driven to me and less about the fights. Like, yeah, you're still gonna fight some people. You're still gonna have to get on, stay on your toes, but it's not about that.
Something.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt.
Yeah.
Kraken's having a hard time finding workers.
Yeah.
Can't get anybody to show up for work.
Yeah, fucking Obama.
It's fucking Obama and Biden, Hillary. It's all of them. Fucking Kraken hired 100 ghosts to show up, and only 10 actually showed up for their first day.
Right. And they're trying to go home at lunch. 5 chests. We have 5 chests to be peppered around this next floor here, or this floor that we're on here, the second floor up from the ground. And there's one in every room except the one nearest to the stairs heading down. And so, like, one of these rooms has 12,350 gold in it.
Nice.
And then the big central room has a chest with 20 gold in it. You fuckers.
That was what was left over. Somebody ganked that already, and then they got struck down by an enemy.
Just missed a few coins running out of the room. Yeah. That's a good way to roleplay it.
The ghosts are carrying around the rest of that gold.
Yeah. The Mage Staff is to be found here, and this casts Fire 2 when it's used. And it's funny, in my party, Connor has become Staff Boy. He's hanging on to the heal, the Wizzy, and the Mage Staff. So he's just got plus his sword,
Any particular reason you picked Connor for that role?
I think, so early, right before class change, one of them became the what is it, the Power Gauntlet? whatever gauntlet, Zeus Gauntlet person, because that was the first item that I got that was like an actual useful spell that these guys could then employ some magic with. So one of them, I think Todd became he's the one because he also has the lesser of the armor because of that. Having that, he doesn't have something that the rest of them have. The ring. The rest of them have rings, and he has to have that for his hand thing. Unless I wanted to take yet another piece of armor away from him and have two hand things because the gauntlet's not equipped, or doesn't have to be rather. In any event, Todd became that, and then I've kind of like one of them became like the sword bearer, and
you got your own little classes.
Exactly right. They each have their own little role in it, and then that's just kind of what Connor's adopted is he's staff boy.
Well, good for Connor.
Nothing in his personality though, which I think is maybe what you're digging at.
I was just checking.
Sure. And then there's also the light axe here, which is ninja ready and has a provocative 28-15 split. And this is exactly what I was talking about earlier. That could be argued as being better than the 22-35 split of the cat claw, but I find it lesser because again, the cat claw can actually, or rather does hit multiple hits so regularly.
Yeah, there's a good question for our listeners. Did any of you ever use axes and succeed? Like, I feel like anytime I put an axe, like I would get like the silver axe maybe at like Elfland, and it was just always so underwhelming. Yeah,
it's just not quite. It doesn't, because you know what the problem is. Most games, like a Skyrim for example, you have the trade off with the axes because they're so much heavier, but they do dealing truck level damage. So like you have that trade off here. There's no way. I mean, I guess they could wedge it into the hit percentage and have a inflated, bloated damage number, and that is kind of what this is actually. I'm saying that like it's hypothetical, like that is what 28-15
that is what they're doing, right?
Right, but it's not the I guess what the problem is, the bloated damage number is not bloated enough to warrant the trade off.
You'd like to see that 28 be like a 35,
right? Exactly.
If I'm only going to hit twice on any given round, let me get some fucking some crushers.
Exactly, yeah, and they're not quite employed effectively enough, I think, to make them attractive. I think that's the problem.
Wait a minute. So are your ninjas all rocking cat claws right now?
No, just one of them. I have. I guess I should have wrote that down. One of them has the defense. So that's fucking amazing at 30-35.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and then shit. What are the other two?
You got to have a katana in there somewhere.
I don't have the katana yet. No, I don't think so.
I thought you had a couple of those.
No, we haven't had the katana. I think the first one you find is in the tower, dude.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I don't have that. So what the fuck are the other two? Where I want to say one of them might still be on the ice, some ice sword shit.
Maybe flame.
No, the ice sword's better than you find two ice swords and they're both better than the flame.
Oh, okay. You find two. Oh, that's right. You do.
Yeah, because there's one in the Castle of Ordeal. The other two might still be on ice swords. I can't recall offhand. I'll make sure to write that down next time. Especially because, the katana will be coming into the picture soon. So the light axe does cast harm 2, which is kind of interesting. It's the only harm capability that I'll have, so I've held on to it just to those fuckhead ghosts. It changes.
I'll have to cop it for that, actually. Yeah, I don't have any harm capabilities.
Yeah, it changes the math a little bit on those because if you had like you're not going to kill them in one hit. So you're if you have a group of 4, for example, you're paring down how many you can kill in a thing. But if you do that harm 2, you might be able to get a kill out of 3 of the other 3 and get 3 down instead of 2 when you double up 2 attacks on one. So
you're almost certain to wipe the group if you can use it twice.
Exactly. So, well, maybe not with harm. Well, yeah, you can use it twice, and yes, you're second with the melee attacks. You're not going
to with melee attacks added in, right?
Right. Yeah, you're not going to kill with 2 harm 2s, those ghosts, unfortunately. But yeah, so that was a cool come up, and I'm holding on to it. And then you find the fucking opal arm in here, which is fucking amazing, highest absorb in the game.
So you guys can use that, huh?
No, only knights can roll with it.
Okay. Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
See, I didn't switch to the steel, and I was actually thinking about this. Because the steel is like 33 absorb and 30 evade. And the opal is like 42 and 10. And I didn't switch because I don't know which is better. And I was actually thinking about running a little bit of research on it. And just like equipping and then finding, for instance, Anklos. And just, have them do 10 attacks versus me in opal armor.
I would bet
the
late
steel
game
has much less absorb. Why would that Why would
because
that
it's
be
got
better?
much higher evade.
Right. But I would think later in the game those hit percentage, and again we still don't know the actual executed math, like how that translates to actual math, because it goes higher than 100%, and that doesn't make it that breaks the universe. But the space time fucking continuum, it fucking essentially breaks that to say that something's higher than 100%. But so I bet late game the absorb is more valuable than evade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
I could see that.
and thus the research.
Right. All right. So I look
Yeah, if nobody's ever answered that question before, actually, this podcast might be able to give a definitive answer on that.
if you're
Again,
running enough numbers.
My electrical professor would fucking lose his mind if he heard me say that. Actual research you can be doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to hear that. I have to, and this is such a bummer because you know your defensive item slots are more scarce, I guess, than your weapon ones, because you only need to equip one weapon as opposed to all 4 slots for armor. So I literally had to pick this up, put it, and I get it, and I have to keep one of my armor slots open to even be able to check what these chests are. So that's its own bummer that I'm working at a disadvantage just to be able to know what they are. And then I get this; it's the greatest armor in the game, and I in turn just chuck it over the edge into the water.
Put it right back in the chest.
Yeah. So it's a fucking little bit of an emotional bummer. So that's it for this level. Up to the next one, you have basically a grid of 5x5 rooms, each with a topless mermaid in them, and it's mermaid chatter time. And there's no enemies here. This is a benign environment. The first one I bumped into says, "You have responded to me." So she's like referencing that you can speak to them, which is... I guess I don't know. I don't even know if I have an explanation for why that.
Well, I mean, think about it. If you're swimming underwater normally, like you're not going to be like talking. If a mermaid can talk to you, you're going to be
Drowning.
Right, but here's the thing.
So if you're just like, "What up, mermaid?" just talking back, they're going to be like,
but no one else can even get here. So it's not like there's like been a stream of visitors that were unable to communicate with them. The Oxale is necessary to even get here since the sea shrine.
Right, but I'm saying like maybe she was there before, like maybe before the calamity happened, because these are magical creatures and they live like thousands of years or whatever. Maybe before she would see like,
oh, it happened so long ago that
she would try to talk to people underwater, swimming, and they're just like holding their breath because
Well,
try to make the environment work for you, make the story work.
I can buy into that fucking.
How do we do this podcast? Do we do like when were we reading the opening chapter blurbs?
After the sea shrine here, we're going to do that in the next thing.
I see. Okay, well, it may explain it there.
Okay,
I've not read it.
Okay. The next one says, "If we cannot regain the power of water, we will become bubbles and then disappear," which is.
They're very worried about that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but that seems like a fascinating thing to be worried about. You're going to turn to bubbles?
Yeah. It's very fantastical.
Is that plausible?
Yeah, talk to me. Yeah, where's your data?
Have you seen this happen? Like, if it has, because this is a magical place, then I will back off immediately.
Yeah. Until then, I need to hear more.
I mean, as I said, there's Frost Gators in this world. The mermaids to bubbles checks out to me.
Yeah, sure. I can get there. Like, yeah, I don't have any supporting evidence or any background knowledge of what you're speaking of, but I mentally can get there. Okay.
I just fought a Naga Hydra Medusa. Yeah, I'm good.
So the next one says, "My friend Daryl went to the land, then never returned. I've often wondered what happened. Maybe she grew legs and walked away."
Oh, we met her. She was the one excited, like, "I have legs, look at me."
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to think it's the Molly addict and Onrak. That's correct.
I wasn't here to talk to the mermaids. I was here to get the tablet and get the slab and get the fuck out. Yeah. So I didn't really talk to them. I haven't officially done the sea shrine yet.
Oh, okay.
Can I kill Kraken before Carrie? Can I kill Carrie last?
I assume I'm sad to hear that's not what you've done. Okay. Yeah, I thought that was one of the things that I thought you were trying to accomplish.
I'll do them in the fucking opposite order. I'll start with Tiamat and work my way down. Fuck it.
Okay, that's fun. Tell me no. I look forward to hearing.
I'll just try and do it as differently as possible so that we have it for posterity.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. I thought that is what you. Yeah, that's what you're doing.
Oh,
okay. Unbelievable! You can breathe underwater. I'm impressed. Which, like that, that again, like that. That's the same right there. A footnote or a fucking comparable statement to that very first one you have responded to me. Like your ability to be in this environment and interface with them and be here at all. Like that's what they're getting at there, and the significance of that. But again, it's like the I don't know. Yeah, the other one just doesn't. I don't know. Understand what it. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't see why they wouldn't think that's possible. But
the actual reaction should be the last thing that was just said.
Correct.
Like, holy shit, you're here at all.
Right. Yeah. Well, maybe that's what the next one. Okay, we got one here in a second. Maybe that's what they're trying to say with this. But the next one is, please save the sea and make the orb shine again. So that's whatever kind of fucking everyone says that in the game. But this next one is, I suppose you are the legendary ... So maybe that's kind of what that means. Like, holy fuck, you're fucking legit, dude. Like
man, I'm here. Let's do this.
You got some mojo working. You're fucking down here. Holy fuck.
Hashtag legend.
Because what that suggests is that through the grapevine they have heard shit, and this again makes all these two previous instances of dialogue that we're so befuddled about or so up in arms about all the more significant. That like if they have heard, if there's any way that information has worked its way down here in one way, shape, or form, then that would require some sort of traveling between the two planes of this fucking world, and they're suggesting that has not happened. So how would they have any idea that? Well, maybe I guess maybe it's been told for eons that this would happen. Could be the explanation there.
Well, or just because they live down there doesn't mean they stay down there. They could come out and swim elsewhere, right? Could they not? Could they not get out of the sea shrine?
I guess. Yeah. I guess. There is no.
Mermaid and submarine maker.
I perceive this as having been they're trapped, but I guess maybe that's a point that they're not at no point
it's their home,
stuck here.
So they may want to stay there, but trapped would be a stretch.
Yeah, that's true. I have another one saying, this is the shrine's top floor. The Fiend of Water, Kraken, lives on the bottom floor. And that's when I was like, ooh, glad I came up here first. Because, again, wanted to check the easy shit off before the hard shit. This is how my brain works, and it satisfies me better when that's the case. Another one says, to unlock the Mirage Tower, the Lefinish. How do you say that, actually?
I was thinking about that today.
I was calling it Lefinish.
Yeah, Lefinish, yeah.
Yeah, Lefinish.
Yeah, there's no... You need an A there for it to be the leaf.
I always called it like
one or the other.
When I was young, I feel like I always called it like leaf-finish.
Yeah, me too. That's what I'm saying. That's wrong. But like so many other things,
much more like
Alfgard. Like you're dumb.
Yeah,
you're just literally a dumb brain. Like know nothing, not really perceiving anything in its entirety.
I'm telling you, man. Like once a day, every single day, and I'm in college, so like imagine how traumatic this is for me. Once a day, I have the realization, or at least the thought, where I'm like, I'm not entirely sure I know how to read.
All right, at least I have not been doing it to its most effective.
Right. So, yeah, it's entirely believable that I fucked it up.
Yes. So, anyways, to unlock the Mirage Tower, the Lefinish used a musical tone, and despite what we were just talking about, I'm no dummy. We're discussing that loot I caught from Garland many moons ago. Immediately, I know that.
Okay.
And then we have some treasure to be had in a number of rooms. It's fucking, I don't know, it's probably like 1760, 9,000, 2750, 4150, 10,000, 10, 5,000. So there's a bunch of fucking gold down here. And then we have an opal bracelet. Gold is better than opal, unfortunately. Drats. So I have to, again, chuck something into the fucking water. And there's also opal shields, helmets, and gauntlets down here. Can't use any of them. I'm assuming you guys did employ them, though, yeah?
Are you kidding me? My fighter is wearing opal everything. Except the pro ring. He has opal shield, opal helmet, opal armor.
Sounds hot. The bros are not.
My dude's got what? He's got opal gloves, ribbon, steel. So he's got opal gauntlets and shield.
Nice.
But I don't think I made much use of anything else. No. You know what? I think I did give the. I made the decision to give the same thing. I gave the opal bracelet to my red mage.
Okay.
Instead of the silver armor. Which
is
like the silver armor is like what's that?
I was going to say, be aware the gold bracelet is better and it can be bought.
I got it. I'm not sure I believe that.
I have the gold bracelet on my black wizard.
Nope.
So he's
It is. I just confirmed it. Absolutely better.
Yeah. I did too, believe me. So like I said, I got that opal bracelet and I was like, ooh, I can actually use some of this opal shit. Nope.
I'm trying to find the silver armor. Just see what these... I'm sorry, please continue.
I feel bad for my red wizard. He's kind of like the pack mule of the group. So like everybody else has like 3 spots or 4 spots filled. He has like 2 spots equipped and just like holding stuff that I'm not sure what to do with. So.
Yeah, well, that's what I say. Yeah, one of my, I believe it's Todd that I've done it with to be a team player. That he just has that open slot, just literally pissing fucking capability up a wall just to be able to see if we can help the other people out, the other bros out. You know,
I think I might have to sell this steel armor sometime soon just to open up a spot there.
And then lastly in here we find the slab. Dr. Yoon, here we come. And that's it for up here. So it's back down past a bunch of bullshit and to that stairwell down from the ground floor. And then you have to work through 2 pretty meaningless floors before reaching the bottom one where the boss battle lurks. And it's just a bunch of big-ass empty rooms, even there, leading up to Kraken and her pet orb in the northwest corner.
Yeah, everything interesting in this dungeon is on the upper floors.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then, so you walk into this room, just like they kind of all are, and the message when you interface with the orb is, the Fiend's ball is shattered, evaporating all the water. Ho, 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 how foolhardy to dare challenge me, Kraken, the Fiend of the water. How did your battles go, Jay? How did this Kraken shit go? It's really cool, by the way, even before you... I wrote this down, I read it, and I didn't think about the meaning of it. Like, the idea that the ball shatters, and it evaporates all the water, so essentially like concentrating it, into the being is a really cool image. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah.
How'd it go, Jay?
Pretty daggone easy. Like there was 0 challenge whatsoever. And looking at this, I saw that he had 800 HP, and I'm like, all right, this is probably gonna take a while. Not at all, man. He was easy mode. I hit him with a 352 point lit. Like, my fighter was absolutely useless. Like, he was hitting, like, 8 damage. Like, nothing. Like, I don't know what it was, if he was just resistant to that, to melee attacks, but my fighter was useless. But
You're fucking using, like, a rapier on him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, your fucking silver sword. What the fuck, man?
Hey. Well, okay, maybe so. Maybe not, because I've rotated his stuff back and forth a couple times, so maybe not. But either way, my fighter didn't help. But again, hitting lit like that with my other wizards, like he was done in like a turn and a half. So not a problem.
Okay. Jab has not battled Kraken, so I'm sure it'll go swimmingly when you do.
I will say, we didn't get to touch on it, and if we don't jump in now and do it, we may not. But the sprite for Kraken is fantastic.
Oh yeah. Yep. Well, I had it behind me.
And there's actually that little that more artsy design of Kraken on the back of the Final Fantasy Nintendo Power Strategy Guide.
Mm-hmm.
That's very groovy as well.
I don't think I've clocked that.
I'll show you a picture of it.
This is a very, very fancy sprite.
Yeah, and Tiamat's is good too. It's the later game. I mean, Lich is good. Carrie's kind of a jumbled mess, if you ask me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna run an experiment and try and make Carrie run away from me.
That would be amazing. There's no way. It's impossible. It can't happen. There's no way.
I'm gonna find out
because you wouldn't be able. The thing, it's that absolute thing we talked about for the caravan. There's no contingency plan basically. If you don't kill Carrie,
you don't get anything from her. She's just the sprite
you
is
get
just
the orb
in your way.
You get the. No, you get the orb from
which is behind her, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
that's just the portal, isn't it not? Is that the orb back there?
Well, you have the orb.
The orb cracks.
You have the orb. You have all the orbs.
It lights
They're
up.
just not
You're right.
lit.
Yeah, right. You're right. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I think that's what the other. I was curious what the other one was in that 3-tier thing that I had for my artwork when we started the episode, and that is what the other one.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, that was the one on the left. That's interesting.
Oh, nice.
I assume that was from some like later generation iteration of
rendition, right?
Yeah.
Nope. Back of the thing.
That's fun. Okay, well, I almost forgot to fast up. So like I didn't remember until after a round of attacks. So when I first got into this battle, I was a little freaked out by how low the damage was for all except for Cat Claw's reliable crit and multi-hit output. I got on that first turn. But other than that, yeah, it was all like super low, typical boss battle shit for the bros, and I was like, oh fuck, man!
Back to it.
Back to the
moment of respite.
Yeah, fucking back to the drawing board with these fucking pricks. But once I remember to dial up fast on the second round, it was lights the fuck out.
Wait,
I can't believe you get fast. That's so.
Wait, what do you mean to dial up fast? Like you have it as a spell usable now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, because when I got the, like I said, I got the spell points for all 4.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, I have 2 of them now actually, if I want, which is to put it mildly overkill.
Does it stack? Does fast stack?
I doubt it. I guess I haven't ran that experiment, but I highly doubt it.
There's no fucking way.
Yeah, there's no way.
But so it would be interesting if it did.
It would be, yeah, fucking absolutely lethal, Jesus. So yeah, once I did that, it was fucking, I think Jordan did get killed, but I ended up terminating. I perceive it as a her in maybe 5 turns.
Okay. Wow.
So okay. It's still a battle for me. It's not like, I mean, you guys are talking about
you have black magic, so were you making use of lit 2, or was that not?
Nope, it's not. It's inefficient. I mean, yeah, relative. I think I might have on that first round. No,
just to see.
I don't think I did actually. I think I always go into, like I'm level 34. Like a level lit 2 is,
it's yesterday's news.
Yeah, it's fucking chump change. So yeah, I mean, I almost certainly did all melees because that is finding out whether or not I am actually participating in this fight with melee attacks is how I'm finding out whether or not I'm going to win or not. Like there's magic is not. Attack magic, I should say. Damage dealing attack magic is not going to change anything for me in any battle this far into the game. It's just not. So, yeah, I highly doubt I even tried that, but I don't recall specifically.
I wasn't sure if the 1s and 0s maybe fucking made Kraken particularly susceptible.
It probably does. Honestly, Lit 2 probably does do a noticeable amount of damage. That's
but it's just not as much as your melee.
Right, particularly with fast. Well, it would be better than my base melee, almost certainly. Yeah, but yeah, I did not anticipate that to be the case. So
yeah, but with fast being the best spell in the game,
yep, yeah, it was pretty overwhelming. So she dies, it dies, they die, he dies. You're transported to the overworld map by the portal behind it, all the way outside of Onrak. Instead of I expected it to transport me back to the submarine dock, but it actually takes you outside of Onrak, which is interesting, I think. Somewhat unexpected. So
are we to believe that the submarine is just left down there?
It has to be in that case, yeah.
I mean, can you go back to the town and see it?
That's a good question. Go over there, go test that out, guys. Or Jay test it out. Maybe I don't have mine up.
Yeah, you absolutely can. I've already done it.
And go back down into there. So So not only is the submarine maker woman a submarine maker and borderline brilliant, or not absolutely brilliant, just for being able to achieve that, but this submarine is autonomous. It's able to operate independent of human operation. So it has
control.
Yeah, so it's fucking some fucking Google car type shit.
Yeah, if you don't pay your submarine bill, they can just drive it right back to the
just drive right back to the lot. Yeah, that's incredible.
I just took it as she was manning it. You got to go back to her each time where she has it.
She does disappear. You could get there, sure. That's could also
she's like the Cedar Point operator of the
right. Yeah, right. Like thumbs up. She's like, you guys buckled up.
Put your lap bar down.
You good? Next stop, sea shine. See you later.
Thanks for stopping by America's Rock and Roller Coast.
Yeah. So that is it for our playthrough for this episode. Now let's get our asses into Chapter 6 of the strategy guide. And I should have this up already because it is my time to shine. I am reading the chapter blurb here to start us off. The storm that sank the sea shrine came on as a dawn of red skies and hot winds from the east. By noon, it's crazy that it mentions the clock.
So specific.
Yeah, by noon, dark clouds boiled overhead and 20-foot waves crashed against the marble walls of the shrine. Inside, the mermaids watched with apprehension. It had long been known that something was amiss in the world, but until now the sea had been their friend. They stowed their most valuable possessions on the top floor of the shrine, then settled down to wait. It soon became clear that the shrine could not withstand the waves and wind for long, but the mermaids worried more about the town of Anrak, for the people there could be swept into the sea and lost, unlike the mermaids. As the storm reached its peak of fury and the shrine began to slide into the depths, one mermaid escaped. She warned the people of Anrak, who fled inland and were saved, but in doing so, the mermaid had lost her home forever. So that's how. She's not traveling.
Evidently they cannot go back and forth.
Yeah, so there you go. So they are trapped down there.
Okay.
But I think it also kind of answers the other question that I brought up of, it had long been known that something was amiss in the world. And that, I think to me that kind of alludes to, like, these are stories that have been foretold for a long time. And, in turn, the idea that someone would have to come and save them could also be in that story, I think.
Yeah.
But I also think, like, if things are amiss in the world, it's kind of one of those things where you think about fantastic stories that, like, they could feel what's going on, like, oh, the air is not the same anymore from the east, you know what I mean? Like, now there's smoke coming from the west, or the ground's not giving the same kind of minerals anymore, like something's off type of thing, That's how I interpreted that. That's my
fair. The artwork for the chapter here is pretty lit. It's got, like, where is this? I mean, it's supposed to be, it's got to be the Sea Shrine, but it doesn't, like, I feel like it should have a different color scheme and feel to it. This looks more like a normal dungeon, with the warm color torches and shit being, like, I feel like it wouldn't have, it's in underwater. It wouldn't fucking have torches.
I feel like this is where we just were. Where we got the class change, you know what I mean? Like, it's got to be like, oh, coming out of the class change type of thing. Like,
but here's the thing: the wizard is wrapped up by a octopus
watery
type.
tentacle.
Yeah, watery tentacle.
But is it? We just see all we see is
the tentacles.
That could be anything. It doesn't mean it's underwater. Is my point.
Then what is it?
Right, then what is it?
Hydra at best.
Being so familiar with even a Hydra is a water thing, but their heads are on necks. They don't have tentacles like that,
right?
And the Ochos also don't have. They have, like, the almost like leaf looking things at the ends of them.
Josh.
Yeah,
well, I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it.
It doesn't work because this is supposed to be the sea shrine regardless.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
I think, as I said earlier, it might have gotten skipped over, but I think it's probably just hard to draw that. Like, how do you draw people walking around underwater?
Well, I mean, I think that wouldn't matter to me. I could buy into however they want to. They could be walking like it's normal gravity. That wouldn't bother me at all. I wouldn't even have thought of that if you hadn't brought it up. But to me, it's just the color palette. To me, it's like it should be it should be that kind
purpley.
of it's almost like. Well, purpley, sure, just the color. But it's like, to me, I took that color palette as, one, you're underwater, of course, but also it's kind of like, this at one point it would have looked like this, torches, normal looking catacombs and stuff, or tunnels and what have you, but it slid under the ocean, and it's like everything just kind of, the lights went out and the fucking torches got, it's just dark. It's I don't know, dead is not the right term, but it kind of killed the normal vibe of what it would have used to look like. And that's part of what that color scheme is to me. And this looks, again, like it's like an active, for lack of
especially with the torches. Like, the torches just throw it all off.
The torches will throw you way off, yeah.
Right. And then the eyes, too. Like, what's up with that at the end? Look at those.
Having said that, very cool artwork, just not... For the first time, maybe
sense.
In the entire book, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it doesn't line up with where we're at in the story, for sure, yeah. Word. Okay. Well, we might be saving Gaia until the next episode, but the strategy guide is not. So we start with it here. Jay, especially since you were so geared towards it and excited about it and wanted to spend so much time there and talk about it, do you want to prattle off the description blurb for this?
Sure. Gaia. Nestled in a narrow mountain valley, the town of Gaia is well protected from the troubles of the wide world beyond. Here, you'll find specialized weapons and armor, level 7 and 8 magic, and a mysteriously empty pond in the woods behind the town. And that's pretty much, that was kind of the extent of my like I didn't read the guide. I definitely didn't go further into the guide, but I kind of got here and I was like, oh, when I was trying to figure out where to go next, I was like, oh, level 7 spells, boom, that's where I got to go first. Like clearly, that's the next step, you know.
Which is funny because they like again, there's level 7 spells over in on-rack too. So
well, this being the first page, you know what I mean, in the guide. Like, cause I read the beginning and I was like, okay, oh, look at that. So that's the next place to go.
Okay, fair. Well, like I said, I don't want to talk about the commerce here, so we'll hold off on the spells and the weapon and item shops and shit for the next pod episode. But it is worth mentioning here because it's a significant quest item. They have the oxale depicted here, and I really dig. It looks like a beer stein that it's in,
right,
with like a demon face on it. So it allows you to breathe. So like think about its function. It allows you to breathe underwater. Like if you went into water with this, it would just
right.
yeah.
Like do you drink from it first? Like how do you?
Right.
Like what is this? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get the exact employment functionality. I don't get exactly how, you know.
The pottery and ceramics makers in this world are very talented.
Yes, they are. They are. And there must be materials in use for them that are remarkably durable.
You look at like they just put like a standard pure potion in this like outrageously ornate ceramic vessel. It's like, damn, guys.
Yep. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff going on with that one for sure. They have a tip box at the bottom of page 56 titled "Tips to Save You Time and Gold," and it's funny here because Chab earlier, what were you mentioning? You were talking about the staying at the inn stuff and the commerce of it and shit. Like they actually mention it specifically here too. Don't waste your gold on expensive frills. Stay at Canaria's Inn. So they're basically saying to hop in your airship and take your ass back to Canaria because there's no threat in doing so. And you also mentioned this in the text message thread last night too, how the airship, you love how there's no danger in the airship or something like that. It's like having been through here just the other day, that's all I could think of when all these little things, you know, was thinking about this little fucking caption here.
Right.
So that's number 1. And then they tell you to get yourself an automatic heal buying machine like I have with tip 2. And then 3 is run if you can. There's no reason to engage if you're trying to get somewhere. There's no benefit to it, you know, at least not relatively speaking. If there's no threat to you, like in my case, like I went through, for the most part, through that sea shrine, just like this is where I'm grinding, you know, and it just happens to be on the way to something else. But for the most part, they're recommending you to, and, you know, that's the thing, you know, honestly.
Yeah, they're telling you to compartmentalize. Like when you're trying to level, go level specifically. Yeah. Otherwise, get the fuck out of there.
And, you know, it's funny, we were just talking about it, Jab, and I don't think we've said, we've at least we not out loud. Maybe it's happened in our minds and we just didn't touch on it. But like, I think maybe part of why it was so stressful for us was this guide. You know,
I can see that actually.
Like if we had just taken it as it comes, we might have been a little less concerned about the potential outcomes. Like it's not like I have a bunch of distinct memories of actual failure. It's all just feelings of dread of failure potentially happening.
Oh my gosh.
All of which could have been imposed by this fucking guide, you know?
Yeah, like putting these unrealistic expectations on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could be.
That's funny. And then the last one,
I'm chopping an eye up here in the ice cave.
No sweat. The fourth one here is save magic and heal potions by using the unlimited heal capabilities of the heal helmet and staff, which I've definitely been having my staff specialist do since scoring that baby. I get into I go into battle. I've developed the whole system.
But you can't use that outside of battle.
Correct. That's why I've developed the system. So I will go into battles and then wean, you know, basically get it down however I perceive this to be possible to, if I like, you know, I guess maybe I don't necessarily go into battles looking to make it happen unless I'm really minded towards doing this, and occasionally it's possible. But what is probably a more frequent situation is I will get into a situation in battle and it'll like click over in my head like, ooh, this is an opportunity. And I can I have a whole thing where I just have them all using items. And that's how I learned that the defense does ruse, because I was doing the situation where I get into a battle and I see an opportunity where the enemies no longer pose a threat to me. And I can now just have everyone kill time by using items and then have Connor use the heal staff and do that for as many turns as are necessary to heal everyone back up without having to use potions or anything outside of battle.
Right.
So that's how I learned that like one of the like I said, the defense is obviously one of the swords I'm using. So just clicking through, that's how I found out that one does ruse. So yeah, I've done this maybe to the extreme possibility because of my limitations. Heal
That's a nice organic way to discover that, though. A little surprise for something you probably honestly won't ever really utilize.
Right, exactly. Because it's just not efficient. Yeah, the ruse spell is just who cares? I mean, most things. There's almost. I mean, I just can't fathom. Like, I don't even know what the math would have to be to get me to a place where I'm thinking I need to buff more than I need to. Than I need to deal damage, especially with that particular weapon, which is a great weapon.
Right.
So, yeah. Cool ideas, but in actual execution application, they don't really tend to pan out in a lot of cases with that shit.
But, being one of the first games to fucking do shit like this, these are ideas and concepts that were expanded upon and actually utilized in other games that plenty of people have played. So, You're welcome.
Yep. Right. Quit bitching. Fucking needy ass video game player fuckhead.
Did anybody complain about this except us? So I don't know what we're bitching about, but.
Right. So Onrak is up next on the following 2 pages. Jab, want to handle this description, Blair?
Sure, let me stop killing eyes first. I just hit level 38 with 800 flat hit points. In Onrak, the Light Warriors hear much about mermaids and robots and other fantastic beings. All of it is true. At the port, you will find a submarine that can take you to the sea shrine where the mermaids live. You will also meet Dr. Un's brother from Melmond. And do you want the fate of Onrak? Why not?
Yeah,
I already interrupted.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I mean, if you want to read it, go ahead, actually.
Sure. I've been done reading it by now. As people both in this is the fate of Onrak. As people both in Onrak and Crescent Lake will tell you, until the coming of the Water Fiend 200 years ago, Onrak was part of a great civilization. Part of that power was derived from the goodwill of the mermaids who lived nearby in a shrine. But now the shrine has been lost beneath the waves.
The goodwill. That's a...
Man, there's just so much, and like, the I don't know how much the instruction booklet necessarily set up all this lore, but they definitely took the opportunity to inject that lore through this strategy guide.
Yeah, the manual it certainly did, but there's no question that it's better fleshed out in this, Yeah, they support my accusations. Yeah, we talked about it earlier, but they support my accusations on Anorak's magic offerings here, given the 4 no's. And that's funny to me. Other than that, and the hysteria-mongering headline of UFOs in Onrak?
You can see it on the fucking slab now.
Yeah, which just alludes to the waterfall remarks in the townsfolk chatter. There's not a lot going on here, I would say. Then we have a single page on the caravan, which sensibly can really fill up a whole page, or rather sensibly can't fill up a whole page. So they put the outer world enemies for the chapter here too. And then the Sea Shrine only gets 3 pages, so it's not getting the same shine that Gergo got. So they're working backwards here, and maybe that supports your theory, Jay. Actually,
yeah,
about the shrine not being as big of a deal. The submarine drops you off at the middle floor of the sunken sea shrine. Above are the mermaids. Below is Kraken. Oh. The Kraken. The Fiend of Water. Seek out the mermaids first. They have kept many treasures that will help you in the battles in the lowest part of the shrine. Did it again there. Extra comma. I don't know. That's weird. I can't read that. Something about that paragraph is tough. Very difficult. Their chief recos for Kraken are lit 3 and fasting up your melee studs, just like I did. So it's kind of like literally what we did, which is good that we just went with that. Or maybe they're just so blatantly obvious. They also mention you might use lamp if Kraken blinds a warrior with ink, and yeah, fucking right.
I didn't even know that was a possibility.
My guys get blinded. I don't even think about it. Like, it literally means nothing to me. And the reason for that being the case is I see no discernible difference in their behavior, performance, whatever, damage, anything when it happens. So if it does do anything to the math, I've never perceived it to. So yeah, definitely not bothering to waste a fucking turn on lamp.
If I even bought the fucking
hard pass. Yeah, I don't know if I own it.
Yeah,
maybe I do.
I am lamp. A 1er on the waterfall after that, which I think it's odd that they suggest someone might do that after the shrine, given all the directions sending you there. that is readily available in OnRack, but apparently that's not a universal takeaway.
Told you. Less important. It's cool that there's a robot there, but the story tells you, like, you got to get this fairy, man. You got to go there first.
Yeah, I tend to agree with
Shrine.
Jay. It's not like the waterfall does anything. The waterfall and the shrine are completely unconnected. So
Yeah, but them talking about it on rack makes me believe or assume that there is something to be gained in there. Like I expected whatever the robot interfacing did would assist me in my quest in the shrine because these people in OnRack are talking about it. That's like to me it was a
I
necessary
understand why you
predecessor.
thought that. I just like me knowing how the game goes. Like those are separate things for me.
Well, yeah, if you know how everything goes, of course you don't need to do anything. that isn't essential.
I think let's just keep going. I think the answer is coming up for us as I have now seen.
Well, then it's
Spoiler
then it's the summary of events page, and that's just going through the step by steps, of course, of the narrative plot points of this chapter, and then we have.
But hold on, let's not speed past that. Look at
Okay,
these summary events, Josh.
Is there something
They go
in there?
Gaia, like I went,
Uh-oh.
then OnRack, then the caravan, then back to Gaia, then OnRack, then the sea shrine,
Jay.
then after that the waterfall.
Jay, these are actually no. We earlier. I don't know. We mentioned in a previous chapter how this doesn't always like their ordering of things in like the full features of each town or cave or whatever in the strategy guide here is not necessarily in recommended quest order, and the summary events
Fair
is
point,
more so
fair
because it came up when we were talking about the mystic key shit. How
Right.
they didn't.
I remember that
It's
now.
not ordered that way. So yes, this can be different, but I mean, in this case, because there is no bouncing back to be done, the summary events is just a replication of the chapter. Is all this is. So you're not the other shoe is not fucking dropping here, Jay.
this is the exact order that I went in. So to me,
Right,
this
but it's
is
also
like,
it's also
to
the
me this
exact
follows
order.
the narrative order of the chatter of the people.
I don't.
You know what I mean?
I think I've already made a case. That's not
I'm
all
just,
the
I'm
case.
just looking at the data and using it to support my point. whether
I
or not
know,
it's
but what I'm
supposed to.
saying is this is just this is just a fucking replication of the chapter order. It's not.
I see data supports me. I'm going to use it. I don't care.
Right,
I don't care the
right,
context.
There you go.
That's not what we're talking about.
we,
No
don't, we don't
context.
need context. We just need me to be
I
right.
just have things that say that I'm right.
Exactly. That's what we're trying to do here.
I don't want to hear any of your broad, intelligent analysis.
Yeah. What do you
I
think
just-
this is?
This is not a fucking scientific arena, you dipshit. So they also have unsolved mysteries here and then battle techniques. The unsolved mysteries hint at the Mirage Tower, whether Dr. Yoon and the language of Leffen can help you, and what's up with that fucking robot. And,
Right.
and then the battle techniques covers the additional powers weapons and armor have when used as items in combat, which we have talked extensively throughout. So that would just be a reiteration of topics already discussed as well. So we are now ready to do our status updates for this particular episode. Jab's still going, so maybe you and I should go first, Jay.
All right. Status update for Master Wizard Doom. He is now level 24, a good 2 to 3 levels higher than last episode. He has 187,000 experience points. He has level 11 strength, 23 agility, 43 intelligence, 12 vitality, 21 luck. This bad boy does 21 damage with his lovely Mage Staff. Hit percentage 43, absorb 33, and 68% evade.
Oh, yeah, copy that. The power of exponential mathematics are astounding. The experience differential here. So Todd is at level 32, which granted is 8 levels ahead, but still 413,218 experience. So
Wow.
like 3 times as much.
Crazy. Definitely
Well,
a curve there.
Yeah, not quite 3 times. 3.3 times as much. Strength is 29, agility 36, intelligence 21, vitality 19, lucky ass fucking Snake Eyes boy here is 46, and damage is 36. Hit percentage is 102. So this badass motherfucker hits every single time and then some.
Wow.
If we're looking at math the way the rest of the universe of mankind has since mathematical thought became possible in our brains. And then the absorb is 40 and evade is 82%. So that's where Todd stands. Where's Jab at? Jab?
Well, he's further along than what I'm about to tell you. I think I'm at like level 39 now. But the one that everybody will see on the show notes is Jab the Knight is at level 34. He has, at that moment in time, 467,777 experience points. 53 strength, 33 agility, 14 intelligence, 34 vitality, 28 luck. With the Excalibur in his hand, he's hitting 71 damage.
God damn it. That's more than twice. Let
me see what I got now real quick. Actually, only 74 at 39. But his hit percentage is a titanic 144%.
It breaks my mind. Like, what does that mean?
I think that percent doesn't mean as much as you think it does. I think that's just a meaningless character in a way.
But why wouldn't it make it like give you more hits? You know what I mean? Because doesn't the fast spell give you more hits?
He hits like 5 times an attack.
So that must be what it is.
That is I can wrap my head around that idea.
Right.
It is just that's how it gets applied. Okay.
And to finish up his defensive stats, his absorb is 59 and his evade is 44. So he's just an absolute tank. Cannot be stopped. I mean, and I haven't even cast fast in this guy in a long time. That's what I'll do is I'll just cast fast on him during the boss battles. I bet I one-hit them all.
Oh my gosh.
Sounds fun.
I want one of those. Let me get those.
You will have one soon enough.
I'll have one, please. Well, what's next? Jab, are you sure? Are you sure we can't tackle the rest in one episode?
I was about to say, isn't this like game finishing next? We got one orb left.
The strategy guy thinks it's only one installment more.
So we went to the waterfall.
We only have like east to go. There's like only one little section of the map left in my mind.
Tower, Leffen, and then I mean there. Yeah, let's just do one. We can do one. Do one.
Okay, so we'll have 2 towns to talk about. But the thing is, the reason I was thinking to save Gaia in particular was because if we did end up doing that, I mean, I took that into consideration. And Leffen isn't a real town.
It's not. Yeah, it's not quite the same.
Yeah, so there'll be some chatter, but there won't be any commerce, really. All right, word. Okay. Oh, okay. So all right. So we are going to do the rest of the game then on the next episode.
Wrap it up.
That's
I got a lot to do.
Wrap it up, yo.
That's very exciting. Well, the way you play the game, it should only be like 4 minutes. 11 minutes.
It really won't take very long.
Okay, fucking A. So that's what we will do for our next episode. That takes a 20-minute segment out of our morning. That's good. So you can subscribe to the pod on the platform provided whatever dumb is coming that does serve up your pottery. Please rate and leave positive shit for the pod on whatever platform that you do listen to if you enjoy what we're doing. And the website is nyhentertainment.com/ISOHpod. Email us directly at isohpodcast@gmail.com to answer any of the fucking queries that we've lobbed out while recording this. And you can follow the pod and banter with us on the Facebook page, at the Instagram and subreddit, and talk shit to us about our gameplay videos on the YouTube. Links to all that shit will be in the show notes. We don't have a Patreon, but if you like giving money to the things podcasters tell you to, and would like to do so in our direction, the Able Gamers Foundation creates custom gaming rigs for gamers with disabilities, and that is cool as fuck. AbleGamers.org is where you can find them. There's t-shirts on the website. They're dope. I'm wearing one, and proceeds on those after pod expenses go to Able Gamers. And Jab, what are your socials?
Yeah, still don't have any.
Jay.
Every time. Gentleman JB without the second E is my gamer tag, and pretty much where you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, all the fun places.
You can find me on Instagram at my shift key is broke. You can find me on Twitter at Josh Folan. My Oculus tag is my shift key is broke. And Jab, have you played and beaten Outer Wilds in its entirety yet?
No. I've played it. I started playing it, but no, haven't touched it since I did the first time at your suggestion. So no, I'm getting a little burnout on my Magnum Opus Fallout 4 experience, so I think I got to put that down for a little bit. And I was going to either pick up Subnautica and get back into that, or do Outer Wilds.
You should do the second thing. Is a better idea.
Better, probably better than the second Subnautica.
It's better. I'm telling you right now.
I'll give you that, but you will not disparage Subnautica 1, not in my presence.
I'm not disparaging it.
Okay.
But it is the things that make Subnautica great. Outer Wilds is better at in every across the board. All the things that make Subnautica fucking incredible, Outer Wilds does better.
I'll get around to it.
Except for maybe the really video game mechanic-y things, the resource gathering, base building type shit. Like none of that's in there. But all the
discovery, the mystery. Right?
Yeah, all the emotional things with emotional core to them. That aren't just, fucking like mechanical behaviors are better in Outer Wilds. There and better. And listener, if you haven't played Outer Wilds in its entirety, you should do that because that is my new political stance. Okay, bye.
Are you doing the waterfall right now?
Yes.
No,
if you looked at your fucking outlines, you would know that.
I'm not going to read those. I don't know what to tell you.